Welcome, everyone, to College Golf Network's live production of the 2024 inaugural Chicago Adaptive Open. We are here in Lamont, Illinois. It is a sunny, beautiful, rare, cool Chicago day. My name is Mike Minahan. Thank you for joining me, Dan Roan, Chicago Icon. Pleasure to be here with you today.
Don't know about the Icon stuff, but it's great to be with you guys, College Golf Network, and this collaboration between the Chicago District Golf Association and the United States Adaptive Golf Alliance. We look forward to a great day today. Should be a lot of fun, plenty of camaraderie and competition, and we'll get to all that in just a couple of minutes. The course in which the tournament is being played is course number 3 here at Cog Hill in Lamont. Opened up back in 1963. A lot of fun to play, as are all 4 tracks here at Cog. Those are the yardages for today. They will vary depending on the disability of the individual players. We're going from somewhere around 6,000 yards to about 4,800 yards from the gold tees. We'll get out there and we're going to talk mostly about holes number 16 and number 18 today. More on those in just a second. The Chicago Adaptive Open weekend kicked off with a special event at Midwest Golf House on Friday, celebrating the 110th anniversary of the CDGA and the 80th anniversary of the CDGA Foundation, as well as the unveiling of the Hansberger Heritage Collection at Midwest Golf House, created thanks to equipment and monetary donations from Gary Hansberger of Ram Golf. The new display cases feature a journey through golf equipment innovation in Chicago, and there's been plenty of that. The evening also featured a trick shot show from adaptive golf icon Dennis Walters. I was fortunate enough to be the MC for the event, and it was really a lot of fun for everybody. We also got a drop in from 2-time U.S. Open winner Andy North, who donated a club from his 1967 CDGA Junior Match Play Championship title to become part of that heritage collection. And we'll hear more from Andy North as the afternoon rolls on.
Yep, and here we are live on hole 16, a par 3 over water here, Dan. First, we'd like to let the viewers know that Jersey Mike's has been proud enough to sponsor this hole. The Chicago Adaptive Open has partnered with Jersey Mike's in creating a $10,000 split the pot challenge. On hole 16, if a player makes a hole-in-one, they will take home $5,000, and another $5,000 will be donated in their name to the CDGA Foundations, helping to support adaptive golf. Super cool. Jersey Mike's. My name is Mike, but they make good stuff, so I like it.
You know, 16 is a par 3 sandwich between a couple of par 5s on this layout. It can play as long as 200 yards. That tee is further screen left than what you're looking at now. They have shortened the hole somewhat for the field this weekend, but they also moved the tee to the right and made them hit it over the pond, so it's a little bit tougher. The green is 2-tiered. The pin is set right in the front. That should roll from right to left as the golfers look at it. And in terms of being advantageous for a potential hole-in-one, Mike, you couldn't put the pin in a better place than it is today.
No, you cannot. And you can see the wind blowing that flag in the right direction for a front right pin. And I think we're going to see a lot of shots close. And it looks like anything that finds that front portion of that green is going to funnel toward the pin. You can see in the aerial view here, pin's in a slightly different location than what you're seeing. But like you said, it's going to funnel, and hopefully we'll see a hole-in-one, especially for the sake of the $5,000 going home. But super exciting either way.
Certainly possible for a golfer's shot to catch that ridge that's behind the pin and move it down and back toward the pin. So there's a lot that can happen on this green. There's a lot in it, and it should be a lot of fun to watch this afternoon.
Yep. Yeah, that's one of the beautiful things about golf, Dan, I think, is once you hit that ball, you don't have any control of it. So anything on the green has a chance.
That's right. When it's gone, it's gone. And we're just moving our opening groups through 16. We'll be talking to some of the players as we move along. And as you look at the bottom of the screen, we will have a leaderboard there, but you also will have a chance to see all of the 15 or 16, I guess it is, different classifications of disability that are represented in the tournament this weekend. Men's G2, leg impairment below the knee. You'll see some players with that. There are a lot of other ones as well, and that'll give you an idea of what some of these players are facing as they take on a golf game that's not easy for able-bodied people, but they've certainly found their niche in this Chicago Adaptive Open, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch today.
No doubt, Dan. I think it's awesome what the CDGA is doing here and getting involved in adaptive golf and hosting this event. It's such a historic golf course. I think it's just awesome for everyone involved. So as you can see here, we're just tuning in with our 10-10 group that is looks like they're making their way up to the green here. Vince Beiser, Alan Gentry, and Xander Dobrev. These gentlemen are getting ready to chip and putt, it looks like here, Dan.
So no hole in one in this group, but we've got plenty more to go. So
that's for sure. And yeah, and despite maybe not being a hole in one with the pin, it would be advantageous either way. So we might see some long putts hold, maybe some chips that are hold. In case there's not a hole in one, we'll still see some shots finding the green there and making their way toward that hole.
Yeah, I can tell you from my own experience that anybody who gets up on the upper deck behind the pin is in for a little bit of an adventure.
That's always fun. Golf is full of those.
So we've got one coming in from amongst the trees left of the green here. Trying to see where that ball wound up. There it is. You saw it catch the ridge and wind up on the fringe. That's a pretty good shot from over there.
Yeah, especially with the wind being at his back. I don't think a lot of people realize how much the wind can really affect a short game shot. Just in my playing experience, Dan, being downwind or into the wind can really affect a higher trajectory wedge shot.
Birdie putt here. That will be a tap-in par.
Yep, well done there.
And I'm thinking we have another birdie putt on the way here, and I believe this is Xander Dobrev about to putt. An interesting guy, one of the great stories in the field, Mike, right?
Yes, phenomenal story about Xander. Just a couple fun facts about Xander that he shared with us. His dream foursome is Tiger, Bryson, and his son. I think that's a pretty cool, foursome, especially for someone to play with one of those guys. And he also shared with us, a unique story, and how he kind of got into golf. He said that his dad got him into golf as a kid. And by the time he was 12, he thought he'd have a career playing golf on the PGA Tour. He's been playing golf his entire life. He unfortunately lost one of his arms at the age of 20 in 2009 in a motor vehicle accident. And so that's what led him into the adaptive community. And I think that's pretty cool. That's I think some people, obviously, we've learned that they maybe they didn't play golf, and they find golf through the adaptive channels, and they didn't play golf before that they were playing the adaptive. But you have people that were big golfers before, and now they're finding a way to play golf again. And I think that's pretty cool.
Putt for par, and how about that one? So our opening group comes through 16.
That is awesome.
That's right. 3 pars. Nice work there. Yeah, a lot of these competitors were athletes in different sports too, not necessarily golf, but once they were injured or became ill or were unable to play the sport that they were originally competing in, they turned to golf. And there are more than one player in this field that says golf actually saved their lives because they really didn't know where to turn and were very discouraged and depressed, and wound up finding golf as an alternative, as an outlet, and it's really worked out to their advantage. And you're going to see a lot of those players on this course here at Cog Hill.
Definitely. Yeah, and I think that's beautiful. I mean, we don't know what nature has in store for us, but I think every joint in the human body is capable of motion, Dan. And I think it's just really inspiring to be able to see these players, quite literally adapt to their, their body and figure out a way to swing the golf club to get the ball in the hole. I mean, we just saw, all those pars made, and that up and down was world class. I mean,
it was. You have your own story, and we talked about it a little bit ago. You should share that with the audience. Mike was a college golfer at Old Dominion and was unable to finish his career because of an injury that he suffered.
Yes, sir, Dan. Yeah, thank you for mentioning that. I feel like I can relate to some of the players in the field and offer a unique perspective. Yeah, I did. I played 3 semesters at Old Dominion before I ultimately had hip surgery and then groin surgery another year and a half later on the same side. So definitely, impaired my ability to play competitively. I was very competitive, obviously a Division I golfer. I've played golf every day. And so, doing that I dealt with, a lot of frustration. I can only, it makes me feel ungrateful looking back after, seeing some of the players here that, maybe they don't have a limb, or maybe they don't have, hand or other, impairments where, I'm pretty sore after the round, and I have to, ride in a cart. I can't walk 18 without it, being extremely painful. So, and I can't compete, but, I can still go out there and play and enjoy myself and stuff like that. But, yeah, I can definitely understand that. And I think, it's interesting. Some of the people we've seen out here today are the happiest, most positive people that you'll meet. And, they obviously, in theory, have a reason maybe to not be so happy. And then some of the rest of us have, anything we could ever want. And, we still find ways to be upset. So I think that just being here and being around it offers a really unique perspective, and just makes I feel grateful and inspired just to be able to be a part of this.
Yeah, I mean, it really speaks to your love of the game. I mean, you're broadcasting, you get a chance to play every couple of weeks or so, and still able to get out there. As you said, very thankful for that, and I'm sure the entire field here in Chicago this weekend feels the same way.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's so cool, just, golf bringing people together from all different backgrounds and life stories, and, human bodies. It doesn't matter. Everyone is different, but, finding that love and enjoyment for the game, I think, is just what brings us all together. And that's why we love it. That's why we're watching it. Like you said, that's why I broadcast it. That's why I, am part of College Golf Network. I can't get enough of it. And if that day means I'm not going to be out on the golf course, I'm still, I want to do everything I can to be a part of it. So it's phenomenal. Yeah, and so we're just waiting for the next group to make the tee. The event began yesterday with a special first tee ceremony, featuring Cog Hill Golf and Country Club icon Frank Jemsek and honorary
Welcome
starter
to the
Andy
inaugural
North. Here's how it
Chicago
looked and sounded.
Adaptive Open. And an icon in the Chicago community, please welcome Mr. Frank Jemsek. Please help me welcome Mr. Andy North.
Thank you. Thanks. Appreciate it. This is a pleasure to be here. The first Chicago Adaptive Open is really a special thing. I mean, what we're going to see today, the quality of play, the amazing things that these folks are doing today, and we've got 3 superstars to start out.
All right, and we are back here on the 16th tee, overlooking that beautiful pond there. We're just waiting for the next group to make their way here. That's going to be the 10:20 a.m. start time. Henry Steinken, Stephen Briggs, and Kevin Holland should be here shortly.
As we mentioned, course 3 here is only part of the 4 courses at Cog Hill. The Jemsek family is really the name in public golf here in Chicago, running 4 courses here, a couple of courses at St. Andrews, and another one up at Pine Meadow in the northern suburbs, as well as a course in suburban Atlanta. So the Jemseks are a very busy crew, and it's terrific that they were able to figure out a way to get the tournament here into their course number 3. And we'll talk more about the reasons for course 3 as we move along this afternoon, but there has been some thought given to why this course and not one of the other 3. And we'll talk more about that in a little bit as we wait for the next crew to come through here at 16. A little more information about the 2024 Chicago Adaptive Open. Again, course 3 here at Cog Hill. The world's best adaptive golfers. It's become quite a circuit for these players. There's a purse of $15,000. As we mentioned, 16 different sports classifications are represented here. And I should point out, thanks to a CDGA member who would just as soon not have his name publicized, but a great philanthropist, made a donation that covered every player's entry fee. So when the players registered, they were given a card that said, guess what? Your entry fee is coming back your way thanks to this CDGA member. And we certainly appreciate him and all he's done for the game of golf and what he's done this weekend to help these players out.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. That must have been really cool to arrive here and find out your entry fee is paid for, Dan.
Not bad. That's not bad at all.
All right, we're here back live on the 16th tee. Here's Henry Steinken.
I'm not sure I'd want to take that task on right there.
No, it is an
With one arm.
intimidating tee shot. Yeah, Dan, I'm not sure I want to take that on with any amount of arms, to be honest.
I should point out that when we play this golf course in the fall, or I should say in the spring, sometimes early March, we don't worry about the pond because it's frozen over. You can skip it right across the water and not have a problem at all.
That's awesome. Yep, it is a little warmer out today. But still, it's a nice change of pace, I think. I know it's been hot here, Dan. You've been here local in Chicago. I've been a little bit all over. But today I'm wearing pants for the first time, and I don't know when.
Yeah, it's kind of shocking, actually. It was 90 degrees yesterday and probably a little uncomfortable for some of the players. But we had a front go through overnight without a storm, which is kind of a shock for this part of the country. And it's just turned into the same day as yesterday, only 20 degrees cooler, which is fantastic for everybody, I think.
Definitely. Yep, we're here with Stephen Briggs on the tee.
Not exactly sure where that wound up. We'll find out once the crew gets up to the green.
Looks like it's headed a little bit.
Yeah, get the pointer out. A little bit left. After the up and down we saw from the first group, I think anything's possible on this hole.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think, with that ridge and the slope there, we could see some, potential chip or pitch-ins, and whether they're in the trees or just short.
There were some terrific scores shot yesterday by a lot of different players. And, you see some of the disabilities that are on display here, and you wonder, how these people could break 100 or break 90 or whatever. Well, we had a 72 yesterday and a couple of 73s, and
yeah, we even have a gentleman this morning, Dan, who's he's 2 under through 6, 2 under on the round. So that's just some phenomenal golf. Jarrett Foltz looks like from Queen Creek, Arizona, 200 day through 6. So he's off to a hot start and shot a 77 yesterday, which is still very good.
Yeah, he's in very good shape.
Fortunately, I didn't get him up there. Or unfortunately.
We're getting a re-tee here.
Yep, so it looks like Mr. Stephen Briggs, his first shot did not clear the water, so he's going to be re-teeing here, which I'm sure will be a common occurrence today here watching this, Dan. I mean, this is just a tough tee shot.
It is. Good swing. Little cut swing right there, I think. And it appears to be just a little bit short and left of the putting surface. So an up and down there, and try to salvage a 5.
All right, and while we're waiting for these gentlemen to make their way to the tee, we're going to go to our next advertisement here.
GA it was allowing me to be able to track how good of a golfer I was becoming. The game of golf itself has 0 boundaries. I think the CDGA gives you a global perspective on the game of golf, but it's also allowed me to be able to connect with people and play golf against anybody. We are better through golf.
Mike, I played in an event last summer with Robbie Gould, who's only one of the most accurate place kickers in the history of the NFL. And so we came to a shorter par 3, about 125 yards, and Robbie knocked it up in the air with a wedge and knocked it right in the hole for an ace.
Wow.
It was his first ever.
That's awesome.
And he said at the time, and he may want to backtrack on that comment a bit, but he said it was better than any game-winning kick that he ever made.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I think
it really was.
Gosh, I've made one ace myself, but I really think that I was more excited witnessing an ace. I was in a group in a tournament with a buddy of mine, and he had made a hole in one, and we jumped up and down and we're hugging each other, and it's such a cool experience. And I think I had more fun watching him make one, to be honest. It's awesome.
Well, there's that shot that we were talking about. You get a ball up on the top of that upper tier there and having to come back down that slope. A very challenging putt from up there. So we'll see how that one works out.
Yep, a 2-putt there would be good. You take that every day of the week. Dan, I find it really fascinating and also amazing how many different sport classifications there are.
Yeah, it's true. You see players with prosthetics, people that don't use prosthetics, people that have different kind of disabilities. The largest class of competitors this week is among those who have cerebral palsy. I think there are 7 or 9 people in that classification. I had the pleasure of having dinner Friday night with one of the competitors, and he was talking about trying to win the thing. And he said, I think I have a chance because I'm playing from 4,800 yards. He said, if I had to play from 6,000 yards, he said, I don't know if I'd have a chance. But that's kind of the way this thing is set up to make things a little more fair for everybody. And he was hoping to have a big weekend this weekend. I'm not sure exactly how things have turned out for him. His classification has some players who can really play. So it's one of the tougher ones. And as I said, one of the bigger ones out here.
Yeah, and that's another thing we haven't really touched on. I know we've been talking about, just how awesome the event is and the opportunity it gives everyone, but especially for people that are competitive, like this is a chance to be able to, to compete and get that competitive spirit up. And like you said, like people out here enjoying themselves, like that's awesome. But if you also want to compete, you can do that too. And I think that's really cool.
Well, we have some of the best players, adaptive players in the world out here, male and female. Ryan Jackson, who played collegiate golf at Eastern Illinois University, is the lowest scorer so far. She shot 72 yesterday with a late double on the back nine. So
wow.
She knows what she's doing out there. She teed off in one of the later groups, so it'll be a bit before we see Ryan, but we're looking forward to it. She has a great backstory, too. Diagnosed as a collegiate player at Eastern Illinois. Anxious to ask her how she wound up at Eastern Illinois, being a lifelong Floridian, and moved back to Florida after school. But she's a player, and she'll be one to look forward to seeing a little bit later.
Definitely. Yeah, it looks like she teed off at 12:10, Dan, so we should see her definitely toward the end of the broadcast this afternoon.
Putt should break left to right, and did. That green was running out pretty well. That was quite quick coming down that slope, and that's a pretty lengthy one coming back.
This one on the way up the hill, sliding a little right there, and just a little short and low.
It is hard left to right from down there.
Mm-hmm.
See if we can finish this one up.
Well done there. Yeah, and he's kind of putting with the shadow in there. I don't know about you, Dan, but in all my years of putting and playing competitive golf, I never liked it when the shadow was over the hole and not over the ball. I didn't mind it over the ball, but whenever the shadow was over the hole, something about it.
I think putting's hard enough under any circumstances. It is for me, anyway.
Looks like he kept the pace up the hill, but looked like it was just
not quite enough. So tap in there. That's, I believe, a bogey. Good base there, wide putting stance, and a good putt too. Good 2-putt there.
Well done. All right, making their way up to the tee here in the 1030 group. We've got Joshua Tankersley, Ronald Johnston, and Tim Haley. And it looks like Mr. Tankersley here is making his way to the tee.
Josh from Bridgeport, Texas. Likes to play tennis with his son when he's not on the golf course. Came up just a little bit short, but that's in the first cut. Shouldn't be too much of a problem to make a 3, or maybe he'll be able to run one in.
All right, now Tim Haley now making his way to the tee. Looks like he's got a hybrid there, Dan. No,
Good
looks like
swing.
it's on a good
Yeah,
line.
good contact. Got that one up in the air nicely. It didn't look like he was thrilled with it. And missed it just a little bit to the right.
Yeah, that's going to come up a little bit short right there. Not a ton of green to work with, but looks like the lie is favorable. Rounding out the group here, Ron Johnston. And Ron is from Chicago, Illinois, so that's pretty cool getting to play in his hometown.
Yep, hometown, or Carroll Stream. I believe that one is headed to the bottom of the pond.
Going to be a popular spot, that's for sure.
Plays his golf around Chicago at Old Wayne, which is up in the northern suburbs. Low round of 71 up there.
His dream foursome is any foursome that he's in, he says.
Good for him. Well, we've talked about the Cog Hill property and a little bit about the Jemsek family. Certainly, Frank Jemsek is the patriarch of public golf here in the Chicago area. As we mentioned, 7 golf courses under the Jemsek umbrella in the area, 4 of them here at Cog Hill. A great supporter of adaptive golf. And I talked with Frank earlier this morning about how Cog got involved with this particular tournament. We just want to talk to you a little bit about how things progressed here and how the tournament got to Cog Hill in the first place.
Chicago District Golf Association called us and said they needed their help to run a tournament, the Chicago Adaptive Open, and they do more good for golf in the Midwest than any organization there is. So we said yes, and we were quite pleased.
What's been your favorite part so far?
How good the handicap players hit the ball, how excited they are to be playing, and all the volunteers that have volunteered to help run the tournament for free, and how happy they are to be doing it. And there's just a joy to be in. It's a fun group.
Obviously, you have 4 golf courses here. They chose number 3 to hold the tournament. Why number 3?
It has the hand traps that are easiest to get out of. In fact, actually, what they had to do on some of the sand traps, they had to put some ramps in the traps so that the vehicles that these guys are riding can get into the sand traps.
I can speak for all the able-bodied golfers. None of the sand traps are easy to get out of. That's one thing about Cog Hill, Mike. They have plenty of sand out here. The big course, the championship course, Dubs Dread, has just been redone by another of the Jemseks, Joey. They redid most of the bunkering and redid a couple of the greens, and it looks phenomenal. One of the best golf courses, certainly one of the best public courses, and one of the best courses overall in this area.
Yeah, and I can see why. Just watching it here in the booth with you, I can see why it's so beautiful. And I know you get to play out here quite often, Dan, right? Even have a tea time tomorrow morning. Is that correct?
Actually, I do, yeah. And Frank is, he's so modest, and it runs throughout the whole family. But in terms of adaptive golf, there wasn't much happening in Chicago, and he facilitated one player who was really struggling with his life, having lost some limbs to a disease, and he got that guy back on track with the help of some other friends, and that's all part of it too. You know, there's so much camaraderie in this game, not just in adaptive golf, but throughout golf.
Yeah.
And people are more than willing to jump up and help other people, and that's kind of what happened for this man. And it really, as we said about a couple of other people, it's almost saved his life. Had no interest in doing much of anything except playing golf, couldn't figure out a way to do it, and finally they figured out a way to make him play. And a story with a happy ending, as so many of these are today.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's really cool to see the Jemsek family's commitment to, COG, to adaptive golf. And like you said, everything that comes with that, the camaraderie, the relationship building, and really just the overall, improvement of everyone's life, I think.
Junior golf is a big thing around here too. And the junior league, PGA junior league team here at COG has qualified for the Nationals for about the last 5 straight years. So
wow,
there are a lot of good young players hanging around here too.
All right, so he's going to tap that one in, it looks like. Yep, clean that up.
Well done. You don't see that on the tour, do you? Guys fist bumping each other as they walk off the green. That's the kind of stuff that you see in events like this, and that's really a great thing. There's our first look at number 18, the finishing hole here in course 3, which is a par 4. And again, the yardages will vary depending on the impairment of each of the individual players. The key to this hole is leaving your approach shot beneath the hole, because this green is very narrow and it slopes severely from front to back. So if you get crossways on this green, you might have a putt that breaks 2 or 3 feet.
Wow.
Beautiful swing.
It's a beautiful looking hole too from that angle, with the sky, the clouds, the trees.
I probably shouldn't mention this for fear of jinxing somebody, but there is a little pond to the left of the fairway as you get closer up to the green. So you'd have to really pound one, I think, to reach it from these tee boxes, but it's probably doable for some of these players.
Yep, and here we can see exactly what you were talking about, Dan.
Cart path along the right side. There's the trees, and you can see the pond. Well bunkered on each side. There is a generous run-up area here, but once you get to the green, that's where the fun really starts. It's kind of hard to tell from the aerial shot, but there is a huge slope from the back of this green to the front. Get a better idea of it right there.
You can see a little bit right there, yep. And I think you mentioned it earlier, we touch on it later, but that just reminded me when we saw the drone flying up the hole there and the cart path so close to the hole. I think that's got to be something that's part of what makes this such a great venue for an adaptive event like this, just making it so convenient to be able to access the hole and keep the pace of play up.
Good for us short hitters too, because you can aim for that cart path and maybe pick up an extra 20 yards or so.
Yeah.
As if any of us are good enough to hit the cart path. Now we are afraid we splashed another one there.
I see some ripples there. Yep, and that was Mr. Marcus Pierce. Yep, rounding out the group here, Dennis Gearhart.
We hope to hear from Marcus Pierce a little bit later on. He's kind of a renaissance man in this crew. He hangs out with his dogs. He's got an adaptive golf podcast that he runs. Big interest in music. He said, I don't use a prosthetic, I hop, as you saw back there. And he hit that pretty darn well. Lost his leg after being diagnosed with cancer several years back. He's one of the men, Mike, who said, I tried golf on one leg because I had to have something to do with my life.
Yeah.
He said, I fell in love with it, and it probably saved his life.
All right, we're back here on 18. Over in the Shamrock Clovers, looks like, but nice angle.
A lot of clover over there. This is the right rough, so he's coming back across the cart path. Pretty tough shot. A lot of bunkering up there. Again, beautiful swing.
Yeah, we're perfectly on plane. Incredible. Wow, look at that. Oh, my
How
goodness.
about that shot?
He almost made that.
That is fantastic. That's going to be a pretty easy birdie. What a way to finish out your day, huh?
Wow, that's unbelievable. Yeah, you can tell that he played golf, but for a long time now. That was not an accident.
And pretty happy about it, too. If my information is correct here, that would be our buddy Xander Dobrev.
Yep. Yes, sir.
This one coming in from the fairway. Got a couple on the green already. And another very good shot. Oh, that one will have a lot of break in it. I don't think Xander's going to have to worry about break where he is.
No, it's nice to see the pin surrounded like that, though.
And one below the hole, which is probably the prudent place to leave your shot on this green. Man, that was an awesome shot. Back to 16, I believe that's a re-tee for Marcus Pierce.
Yep, it looks like it skipped across the water, hit the bank, and can't quite tell if that found its way in the drink or if it's just sitting up.
You have young eyes, Mike. I could not see that golf ball for anything.
All right, back on 18 here. It's always nice to strut your way up to being the first one to mark that ball on last to putt, isn't it?
Take your time. The other guys will wait for you.
Yep, they got to read their putts. You can take as long as you want to mark it.
Jealousy.
What a great way to finish too. It's always nice not having to, from a competitive golfer side, if you have a rather short putt or, you play the 18th well, and it's nice to have a strong finish to the round. All right, so they're reading their putts here. First one to play looks like it's going to be a little bit down the hill.
A little downhill and very much across that slope, so you're going to see a lot of break in this one. Going to take a peek at it from a couple of different angles here and try to get this figured out.
And I know we didn't talk to the superintendent this morning, Dan, but the greens look like they're rolling pretty quick out here. I would guess, around 10 or so, 10 and a half.
I think that's about what they are. Yeah, the couple of putts we saw on 16 were down the slope, which made it obviously a little quicker. But, yeah, I think 10 or 10 and a half is about right.
Nice putt there. It's following the break.
Go ball.
Wow.
Beauty. Well, these guys own 18. How about that?
That was center cut, too. That never
Right
even
in the
left the
middle.
hole.
Beautiful putt.
Wow, the high five. Look at that. That is awesome.
Well, this has to go in, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
He might be the odd man out with Dobrev so close with his third.
Oh, a little more pace, he might have had it.
Yeah, it looked like I'm being on a good line, but I think that hill is definitely slopes that greens, like you said, that green slopes a lot more than you can really back to front than you can see from here.
Yeah, it's going to be very slow coming from lower to higher, but
Yep.
all right. We already gave Xander this putt, didn't we?
I think we did, yes.
He better not miss it. The shot of the day so far, and he pays it off with a birdie.
Never a doubt.
2 birdies and a par in this group. That's not bad. That's not the easiest hole on this golf course, I can tell you that. Well done.
Phenomenal. Oh, that's awesome to see the handshakes, the camaraderie. All right, now back out to 16.
Short-sighted over there behind that pond. That's a tough chip shot from there.
Yep, it looked like, I believe it was Dennis Gearhart in the American flag shorts, it looked like.
Got it on the green, got a chance for par.
Yep, sometimes it's all you can ask for. It's a putt at it.
Doesn't appear that he lost his turn.
Nope, this one's going to be sliding, like you said. That ridge is right there.
Yep, a little bit left to right and down the hill.
Yep. Really
That is
trickled
quick,
out.
isn't it?
Wow. Yeah,
Very quick.
Really released past the hole.
Brian Warner next to putt.
Yep, he's respecting the break, the ridge. Wow, it's hard to miss that putt high, but that's still a good putt.
It was a really good putt. If he had just a slight bit less pace on that thing, it would have gone in. A really good putt. Good read.
Yep, and he's rocking the bucket hat out there today.
Not a bad idea.
No,
A lot
never.
of sunshine at Cog Hill this afternoon.
All right, Dennis here trying to make the comebacker.
Oh, got a piece.
Marcus Pierce getting ready to clean up his putt here.
He got it up there close. Marcus from Marshall, Wisconsin. He was on the winning Phoenix Cup team against Europe in 2023. That's the adaptive version of the Ryder Cup.
Wow. So this is not his first rodeo.
No, he's all over the place, this guy. Very interesting dude and pretty darn good player. That putt was about 2 feet. It broke about 8 inches.
Yeah. Holy cow.
Really nicely done.
I was wondering why he was spending so much time reading it, but that's why. Holy cow.
Bang it hard, straight in the back.
Beautiful. Nicely done.
All right. Good work by that crew.
Yep. We're coming up. Here are these gents making their way to the next. And now please enjoy a word from the CDGA.
A story about a father sharing a game that he loves or a mom that she loves and sharing that with somebody, in this case, their child with a disability, not knowing if they're able to do that, and then seeing the joy that they're able to experience through that shared experience it's a gift to be a witness to that.
All right, and we're back here after that word from the CDGA. And yeah, I know we're going to talk to them a lot, later and talk about it. And we're obviously here. And we'll hear from Tim here soon, the Senior Communications Director. But I think it's just phenomenal what the CDGA is doing and getting involved in, the adaptive community. And, I know the first USGA event was in 2022, Dan. So it's really cool now to see, different states, different associations, all around the country, putting on events.
Well, the headquarters of the Alliance is about to move into the Midwest Golf House across the street here from Cog Hill. So the involvement with the CDGA and adaptive golf is only going to get bigger as time goes on.
Definitely, and I can see why. I mean, everyone here has been super professional and, just very hospitable.
That's a heck of a shot right there. This is our first look at the up tees. This is a twosome here. Alexander Hahn and Justin Miller.
Yep, looks like Alexander Hahn Jr. was first to play, and Justin Miller is following him here.
There are several golfers in the field who don't have the use of their legs, and this is how they go about it. They just swivel the chair into swinging position and swing basically with their upper bodies. One of those players in the group, not this group, but one coming up soon, is Dennis Walters, who's iconic in adaptive golf, has a trick show that he's been doing for years and years, has performed, he said, more than 20 times with Tiger Woods at various events, and his show on Friday night as he stood out there in the pouring rain was phenomenal. Really fun to watch, and he's competing this weekend as well.
Wow, nice shot there by Justin Miller.
Really good.
And I got something fun for you here, Dan. It looks like Justin's favorite golf memory. Listen to this. His first win on the Adaptive Tour, the Adaptive Open at Torrey Pines, North Course, May 2nd, 2024. So that wasn't too long ago. Shout out to Justin on his recent victory. And that is definitely a pretty cool golf memory.
That is really good. A win at Torrey Pines, that's not bad at all. This hour of our program is being brought to you by Tour Edge Golf, located in the Chicago area at Batavia, Illinois, and we thank them for their sponsorship here of the Chicago Adaptive Open. All right, let's see if we can make a couple of birdies here.
And with that shot Justin just hit, you can see why he just won a month or so ago.
You sure can.
Yep, Justin also shared with us he's also a musician, and he's been the guitarist and lead singer of rock bands most of his life. most popular being Burn This for a Friend. So fun fact there, and check it out if you like rock music.
Burn This for a Friend. I have to admit, I'm not familiar.
Me either, but after the broadcast, I would
That's
definitely
right.
have to give it a listen. I'm
We'll
a
be
fan
on
of
it.
some rock. Talk about a Renaissance man, golf champion and lead singer of the rock band.
That's pretty good.
All right, this one's coming up the hill.
Gonna break hard to his right. Not quite enough. I think he's telling everybody we misread that one by a little bit.
Blame that one on the caddy, right?
So he's going to have that left for par. And his playing partner, Alexander Hahn, Sandy is his nickname, Avon Lake, Ohio. Got a pretty good look at birdie.
Yeah, this is the first time, Dan, we're seeing a group come through with, needing the use of the golf cart to help them play. And I just think that's so cool that, seeing the different ways that, people are creative. It's just so cool to see, finding different ways to play and to swing no matter what. I mean, it's just so cool.
It really is. And Sandy just started last summer in the solo cart. And from the looks of that shot, he's got it down pretty well. So this one for birdie. This one might be a little bit straighter than most of the other putts we've seen on this green.
Yeah, it looks like he's made his way on the other side of the slope here, more closer to pin high.
Yeah, back up the hill. This one shouldn't do too much. Oh, I think he had it online.
Yep, just didn't quite have enough pace. Those are frustrating when we all know.
It's just a little bit more than a tap in.
Yep, and like we mentioned, these gentlemen were in the 10:50 a.m. starting time. Making our way to 11 tee times today. We're from 10:10 until 12:40, so still plenty of golf left today.
Well done there. Good two putt.
Yeah, wave the camera there from the caddy.
Those caddies. Come on.
Everyone's enjoying it. Golf, that's awesome.
They're trying to get a little better read on this one than they did on the first one.
Yeah.
Justin Miller putting for par. Oh.
That is a frustrating bogey.
You see that on a golf course every day. Yeah, that is tough because he had hit a great shot in there.
Yep, the old 3-putt bogey. It never gets old, but it gets old real fast.
That's the thing. Then you have to whip around and get the golf cart situated in the right spot so you can go back there and tap it in from that side,
Yeah.
which is not a problem. That's just
Not
a
at
couple
all.
inches away.
But I love the integrity. I love the competitiveness. It's super cool. As a coach in high school used to tell us, everything hits the bottom of the cup, gentlemen. So it's nice. It's cool to see that they're playing the ball out, and I don't see anyone picking it up. It's
Yeah,
nice.
man, it's competition. It's definitely very competitive out there in some of these divisions, especially. So, yeah, put them out, move on. Make a birdie on the next one. You got a par 5 in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Now back to 18, the par 4 finishing hole, and not sure if this is a second shot or not. If it is, that ball was hit pretty darn good down that fairway. That's not much left. And another
Wow.
very good shot, although that one is going to be a little crooked coming down that hill.
Yep, she's going to slide down that hill quickly and to the right.
I'm just going to say this. That is a putt you do not want. That one right there. That is fast, and it is breaking hard to the right. On its way. Come on now. Boy, it didn't break that much at all. But it was quick.
Yep, that one's going to trundle down that hill there.
Pretty good comebacker for par there.
Yeah, and sometimes when you're up there, Dan, you don't want to leave it short, but it's hard to control that speed once that ball gets past that hole. Nothing worse than having the same one coming back. Get up their ball, just short.
You hit it 15 feet past the hole. It is so hard to hit it hard enough on the comebacker. Meanwhile, back at 16.
Yep, we are here with the 11 a.m. group, Brian Liston, Wake Mullins, and Stephen Oyen. All right, so it looks like a couple of the other gentlemen have already teed off here while we were on 18. We're going to head back there right now. Just didn't quite stay up.
No.
Wow, look at that. Still trying to sneak away there.
Yeah, a little more pace. He might have had a chance to make that, but you really have to respect the speed.
All right, nicely done there, and that's going to complete the adaptive open for him. I know we touched on it. It might seem obvious, but for people just joining us, this is the second and final day, Dan. So these players are, they're competing, and I'm sure they, must feel a sense of accomplishment and, relief sometimes when that, tournament is over.
One more from this group to finish up at 18. Well judged.
He buries it.
Hey, that's a tough birdie. He deserves a hug for that putt. I mean, that is a hard putt.
Took
Had
the
it
break
not
out of
hit
it.
the hole, yeah, you're right. That thing was going down that slope. It might not have stayed on the green, but we don't have to worry about that because it wound up right in the bottom. Well done.
Awesome. Shaking hands. Headed to the clubhouse to have a little lunch. Maybe, I believe I heard something about a barbecue at the pavilion, Dan?
Doesn't sound like a bad idea.
All right, we're back on 16 here. That one's making its way toward the hole. Really nice speed there. Great touch.
We told you that Andy North was hanging around for the weekend, the two-time U.S. Open champ and USGA board member. He visited with CDGA TV to discuss the historic event today, his experience with the USGA, his latest business venture, and his recollections from junior golf. All right, now let's hear from Andy North.
It's nice to be back in the Chicago area again, and the Adaptive Open is fantastic. The CDGA, what they're doing with those guys, so it's fantastic.
Building off that, why was it important for you to come to this event?
Well, I think, first of all, go back a little bit. I'm a new member of the USGA Executive Committee, and the Adaptive Open was really a huge event for us last year, and really it was so well received, and the USGA people that were there said it was their favorite event of the year. So when we found out that CDGA was doing one here, it made sense, and I think it's fantastic to give these great athletes their stage, and it's really cool to see how well they can do it. What they're doing is amazing. You watch these athletes playing the Adaptive Open, the fact that these are unbelievable athletes, and what they're doing is incredible to watch. Stand on the range and watch players, one-handed players, hit it exceptionally well. Players on one leg hit it exceptionally well, and all the other things that people have had to overcome to become players. And golf's a wonderful game to do that. They can do it forever, and it doesn't matter if you can hit it 200 yards or 300 yards or 100 yards. To be able to just get out there and enjoy it and have some fun, it's really important.
Welcome back. I'm now joined by Tim Merrick, the Senior Communications Director for the Chicago District Golf Association. Tim, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Mike. Obviously, want to thank you guys for being a part of this, obviously, historic weekend, and happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to talking to you more about the association and adaptive golf, and let's enjoy some of the golf.
Absolutely.
And now we're back out on the green at 18. And like Dan mentioned, and by the way, Mr. Dan Roan, the Chicago icon, he will be joining us in a little bit
Big
to round
shoes
out
to
the
fill here.
broadcast.
So obviously want him back in this seat, but yeah, did a great job this morning, or excuse me, earlier this afternoon.
Yeah, for sure. And I am not a Chicago native, Tim, so I've heard the lore of Mr. Roan, but it sounds like I got to speak with quite the legend.
Yes, I've only been here 6 years, but a lot of people in the Chicago area, especially the golf and sports scene, know Dan well, and we appreciate his time this weekend, not only today, but at our ceremony and anniversary celebrations on Friday night.
Definitely. Yeah, Tim, so tell me a little bit about the CDGA's involvement in adaptive golf, and how you guys kind of got started with it.
Sure. So adaptive golf specifically has been kind of a hot button topic within what we call allied golf associations of the United States Golf Association. Many other AGAs, as we like to refer to them across the country, as we've said, have done adaptive events before. And it all starts with a lot of people on our staff, obviously, that came up with this idea. But probably 6 months ago, we started brainstorming ideas of how we can do an adaptive event. Our foundation, the CDGA Foundation, does a lot of adaptive programming already, but we wanted to do something specifically competition related. So about 6 months ago, earlier this year, right at the turn of the year, we started brainstorming, and obviously you've heard the stories about how we partnered with Cog Hill right across the street from our headquarters at Midwest Golf House. And so it's been 6 months coming in terms of putting this all together, as we see
Wow, there's a nice putt.
a great putt there to finish off your round.
That's the second one we've seen, Tim, from over there. It looks fast and breaking a lot, but no one's having an issue so far.
It looked like a great speed. And,
yeah, that was an up and down. That was a sandy. Nice putt there.
Another great finish.
Magnet at the bottom of the hole.
That's great too, seeing the reaction there.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it's just a perfect partnership here with Cog Hill and CDGA and Midwest Golf House, like you mentioned. And yeah, I mean, we're honestly, obviously extremely thrilled to be a part of it, and definitely, proud to promote and share on our platform, adaptive golf and helping grow the awareness. And I think it's cool to see events like this and golf in general. I think even if it's not adaptive, even if it's other golf events, like it's just so cool from a golf fan's perspective to see different ways of playing golf and different events. And it's just so cool seeing different associations putting on different events for all sorts of golfers of age, adaptive status, disability, what have you. It's just it's awesome.
Yeah, being out on the course yesterday, and obviously with our event on Friday night, it seems like all the competitors are having a great time. Obviously, like we've said, the competition is good, and it's good to get those competitive juices flowing. But as we just saw there in 18 green, it's what the camaraderie of this community is all about. The handshakes, as Dan mentioned earlier, somebody giving a fist bump after another competitor made a putt. You don't see that across all of the championships across the country. So very nice to see that aspect of it.
Definitely. And I know the camaraderie and the handshake and fist bumps are always fun when it's the last hole of the tournament.
Yeah, 2 long days. Obviously yesterday our weather was a bit warmer and more humid, but we've had nice weather here today, low 70s and sunshine. So we've been fortunate with the weather this afternoon.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I know we mentioned earlier it's a rather cool day, kind of rare for this time of year in Chicago, but
definitely.
I'm definitely not complaining, that's for sure. Yep, so now we're back out to 18 here with Marcus Pierce. Yeah, but Marcus was not kidding when he told us that he hops. That's what he does.
He does, and I saw him yesterday out there in one of the groups, and I was quite warm out there covering the championship. I can only imagine the effort it must take to do that. So again, we've all had bad rounds on the golf course, but it could be worse. So.
Yes, definitely. Yep, and I'd argue that if you're on the golf course enjoying yourself to any extent, it could all, yeah, there's a lot of things worse than that. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, and we'll hear from Marcus here shortly after he completes his round. So that'll be pretty cool to talk to him for a few minutes and
Yeah.
just hear from, him and what he thinks about, the event. And
I'm curious here. We're looking through some of our information here. It looks like his dream foursomes Tiger, his dad, Fat Perez, who I know a lot of people on social media may be familiar with, not to be confused with Pat Perez,
right.
and the rapper Logic. So quite the diverse foursome there.
Very.
And we'll see when Marcus gets up to the green here, the use of some crutches, but insists on hopping for every other shot on the golf course.
Yeah, and I think Dan might have touched on it. His adaptive golf podcast that Marcus has, which is super cool. And he lost his leg after a third battle with cancer in his left leg. So,
unfortunate, but it seems like he's making the most of a bad hand here, as many in the field are.
Definitely. I mean, that is determination and grit. The cancer in the leg, they chop it off, and he says he doesn't need it. Yeah. He just uses the other one to hop.
Exactly.
It's awesome. Wow, nice shot there.
Yep, nice play up onto the green. That'll leave an uphill putt there. You can see it from that shot there, being out on the course yesterday, just how well the conditions are as well. All of the COG courses are known for how good the conditions and shape of the golf courses are. So great conditions for these competitors this weekend.
All right, these gentlemen are making their way up to the 18th green.
Again, waiting for these players to get up to play their putts on the green. 18th here at course number 3 at Cog Hill.
Yeah, and speaking of, I know I mentioned earlier I'm not native to Chicago, and you've been here a little bit.
Sure.
Just kind of going through, talking with different people and, reading. It seems like a lot of people aren't from Chicago either. It's amazing to see how far people have traveled, for this event.
One of the things that we discussed in the planning stages of this was that this community does travel, right? So we knew that if we could get something, obviously Chicago is a nice metropolitan area, easy to get into and out of. So this community travels well and participates across the country. So we have a lot of states represented, and it's been nice to see. Obviously, being in the communication staff here in the CDGA, we're covering a lot of local people, but it's nice to have some, people from Arizona or Florida, Texas, that kind of thing. So,
Yeah, I noticed there's a lot of people from Michigan.
Yep.
And even as far west as Los Angeles, and as all the way on the East Coast too, New Jersey. I'm seeing.
Yep.
So very cool. Yep, Chicago is definitely a nice metropolitan area. I don't know about easy to get in and out of. Maybe if it's 3 a.m.
Sure.
Yeah, but it's
two airports,
fun.
But still, again, very.
Yep.
Sometimes not ideal.
Yep. CGN crew was fortunate. Traveling in was no problem, so it's always nice.
So it looks like we've got a couple uphill putts here.
Yep, very nice camera angle there, courtesy of the lift provided by the CDGA. We really appreciate that, Tim, you and your staff, Casey and the rest of the guys. Super cool you guys to help us with that.
Oh, and just short. What a great putt. That'll be left in for just a tap-in putt there. Finish off his round. Very patriotic polo as well, with 4th of July coming up this week. So.
Very, yep. Yep, Dennis Gearhart there, tapping it in. Yep, and like I said, that camera angle, courtesy of camera operator Phil Minahan. We appreciate him standing up there, working on his suntan, I'd say.
Working on the tan, a little closer to the sun
Yep.
via the lift, but I know it was quite a trip to get up there, but we appreciate him braving the elements.
All right, here's Marcus. He's going to make a run at this one before we hear from him here shortly. Yeah, I've also heard that Marcus is, I know he has the Adaptive Golf podcast. He's very, very involved on social media.
Yeah, very. We've seen him mention our social platforms a couple of times throughout the weekend, obviously showcasing some of his talents as well as the event as a whole. So we appreciate him sharing that across his channels.
All right. Looks like he's got a good 30 feet here. It's going to be up the hill, winding. Wow, great run.
That might have just slid underneath the hole, but a good leave there to tap in to finish his round.
Definitely.
I can relate with his answer here. He said his wedge game is probably the strongest aspect of his game. He said he's a horrible putter and tries not to leave himself too much to finish off the hole. So I think we can all agree that the closer we can leave ourselves, the better we are. And Marcus says just to tap in there to finish out.
Definitely. Yeah, and it's cool. No matter who you are, you're not immune to the, frustration or the, fun of golf.
Correct.
It's interesting.
Yes. That's a good 2-putt there from where he was at, the front left of the green there to finish off his round.
All right, so Marcus looking to tap this in and then come join us here and talk a little bit about.
Should be happy with that finish there. Good 2-putt to finish off the
Definitely.
round. Looks like the group here on 18 is posing for a photo. So again, just showcasing that community aspect. Not sure if these competitors have played together before, but regardless, it looks like a great day was had on the golf course. So
definitely,
you can call it a competition, you can call it a tournament, but it's definitely been much more than that throughout the last 2 days here. So
always nice to see a group photo too on the 18th green.
Absolutely.
All right, and before we hear from Marcus, we're just going to hear a quick word from the CDGA, and then we will talk to Marcus Pierce.
A story about a father sharing a game that he loves or a mom that she loves and sharing that with somebody, in this case, their child with a disability, not knowing if they're able to do that, and then seeing the joy that they're able to experience through that shared experience it's a gift to be a witness to that. And to hear a story about a father sharing a game that he loves or a mom that she loves and sharing that with somebody, in this case, their child with a disability, not knowing if they're able to do that, and then seeing the joy that they're able to experience through that shared experience it's a gift to be a witness to that.
Hey, Marcus. How are you doing?
Hi.
Good. It's a pleasure to get to speak with
Good.
you.
How are you?
I wanted to ask you, I hear that you're the one-legged golfer on Instagram. Is that true? I figured. I
Yes,
wasn't
sir.
sure, but that's awesome. How did you enjoy your round today at Cog Hill?
The golf course is beautiful. The event and all the volunteers are beautiful. My golf game, not so much this weekend.
That's
but
awesome. That's awesome.
I had a good time.
Do you feel like you're being active on social media and promoting adaptive golf? Do you feel like that's helped you kind of just with your journey throughout golf and your adaptive journey?
Oh, definitely. I think being able to connect to people across the country that you might not even have a chance to meet just because of tournaments, it's expanded the game a bunch, and it helps people meet each other. And it when you see people working hard like that, it makes you want to get out and practice more. So I think it improves.
Yeah, that's
everybody's
awesome.
game.
That's really cool. You found social media to be able to not only help you, but also just help everyone in golf and the adaptive community. How would you feel like this event compares to other adaptive events you've played in? Because I know you're obviously very active in the community.
I mean, I'd put it up there with one of the best. The facilities are awesome. The course is great. There's enough volunteers, more than you could ask for. You don't have to fight for carts. So it's definitely up there. It's one that people need to put on their list. I'm assuming we'll probably go to a field bigger than 60 next year and get some more folks out here. But
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
there
gonna
you
be a
have it,
great
folks.
one.
Marcus said if you're an adaptive golfer looking to play, put this on your list next year. Thank you for joining us, Marcus. Have a great rest of your day.
absolutely.
All right, we're back on 18. So, Tim, I know you heard that. That was really cool to talk to Marcus, and I think that's really cool that he takes that, advantage of social media. And, I know everyone's probably aware there are some, disadvantages and advantages of social media, but I think it's really nice to see something positive and see something like that because not everyone is, on the same vibration, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, dealing with social media through the CDGA's platforms, it's a great tool to spread awareness and things like that. So just want to give Marcus a shout out again for using that platform to his advantage. So we see a putt coming up the hill here.
Yep, and this is the group of Justin Miller and Alexander Hahn Jr., the two gentlemen, first that we've seen playing with help, the use of the cart for help.
Yep.
And yeah, Justin is quite the accomplished player as well already, and they will clean up these putts here. But yeah, also awesome to hear Marcus, tell the community to put this on their list, even though this is the first year that you guys and COG have put this on. So really cool of him to say that, and I hope everyone listening does do that, put it on their list for next year because I know it's only going to get better.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, as we said, the community travels, and we're appreciative of all of the feedback that we've gotten. At the end of the day, this tournament doesn't go on without the competitors that are in the field playing over the course of the round. So very appreciative of Marcus's words there.
Definitely. Up. And the next gentleman that we will hear from will be Marty Neal. We didn't catch him on 16, but I'm sure we'll catch him on 18. Then obviously after the 18th hole. But I know he's got a pretty cool story too. So.
Just missed that putt there to the right. I've definitely been in that position more than a few times.
Yeah, have you played out here a lot, Tim? Are you familiar with the golf course?
I've been able to play all 4 courses out here. Definitely, as I said earlier, maintained well. The conditions are always nice. The Jemsek family has always been nice to the CDGA, and again, icons in the Chicago golf community. So I know everybody in the area here is familiar with COG and has probably played at COG Hill at some point in their life. But definitely a destination if you're traveling from outside of town or anything like that. So,
yeah, definitely. And it was only, I want to say, maybe a 35-minute ride out of that Midway Airport last night.
Great driving range, great practice area. So, definitely a staple of the golf community here in the Chicago district.
Yeah, I don't think people realize, if you're not from the Midwest, I grew up in the Northeast, and I didn't realize how many beautiful golf courses, the Chicago area has, whether they're public or private. Really, it's just a plethora of golf options.
Definitely the history here. Obviously, Chicago Golf, one of the founding members of the USGA, cited the first 18-hole golf course in the U.S. here, and we're fortunate in the Chicago district to have over 410 member clubs that we service. So again, a big metropolitan area and also a lot of golf history here. So as you said, again, private and public offerings for all golfers from around the area. So very blessed and very fortunate to have that at our disposal here.
Definitely. All right, so Hahn and Miller are finishing up, and was I correct? Is it barbecue under the pavilion today, or I know there's lunch.
I heard the rumblings that there was pulled pork today.
Oh wow, okay.
Obviously, the cog dog is a big staple of Cog Hill, so I'm sure those were grilled up yesterday, and a few post-round drinks and beverages were flowing as well. So, massive tent over there. You know, we got carts. You've got everything underneath there, so it's nice for the players to finish up, head to scoring, and then enjoy some time off here.
Yeah, finished good scoring, straight to the cog dog. I mean, I enjoyed one this morning. I'm going to see it in my dreams this next week, I'm sure. All right, we're back out on 16, and that is a phenomenal shot. That is
Great
below
shot.
the pin. That is going to be a good birdie look.
Again, that pin located on the front right of the par 3 16th there.
Yep, that funnel. Still a few groups to come through here, Tim. We're about halfway through the groups on 16, so still plenty of time to potentially see a hole-in-one.
Definitely, and again, that split the pot challenge. Jersey Mike's was kind enough to put up $10,000 in that split the pot challenge. Again, a hole-in-one made on this hole will warrant $5,000 to the person or individual that makes it, and then $5,000 will be donated to the CDGA Foundation and its adaptive programming in the name of the person who makes that ace. So definitely hoping to see one here, and as the CDGA's Mike Gilligan put it, it's a very prosperous spot for something like that to happen.
Yes, it is prime, he said. And as you can see, Jersey Mike's on the golf cart there.
That's Mr. Dennis Walters. He was at our event on Friday night, a staple in the adaptive community. His trick show, he travels and does his trick show. And we were able and fortunate enough to see that on Friday night amidst the rain, I will say. So rain or shine, Dennis does perform, and aided by his canine friend there, who was out yesterday as well. You can see the umbrella is not propped up, but shelter them from the shade here. So looking to read a putt here. Hopefully a birdie look, I would assume. But
yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, and it's interesting. I know it's been a beautiful last sunny days, and I know the CGN team can attest to this, but when we show up, there is no rain usually wherever we are. So there was one time we had some rain, and that was like in a playoff technically. So we technically were supposed to be done. So that was
We'll
over a year
credit to
ago.
CGN with the weather here today.
Yes.
Again, a gorgeous day for golf.
But yep, this group of Dennis Walters and Thomas Duffy. Also, 2 more of the players playing with help of the cart.
Thomas Duffy, an Illinois native here in Utica.
I love how he tricked out his golf cart, Tim. He's got look at all the Titleist sticker.
Yeah, there's a lot of real estate there. So,
yep, that is one cool looking adaptive cart.
put his way. It looks like it's going to slide by.
Wow.
Short and left.
The wrong side of that ridge is just not a good spot to be on.
Seeing the K9 there reminds me of the dog days of summer. Obviously, we're not facing those harsh and warm conditions here today, but
we will be soon, I'm sure.
Look at that little guy just hanging
there
out.
There he is. That's awesome. Yeah, and I'm told Dennis really enjoys bringing his dog along as
he
a
does,
cart
yes.
Usually. Yeah.
Yes, the dog is there for the trick shows and his competitive rounds as well. So, nice to see as Mr. Duffy putts up here. Oh, wow. And what a great putt there for Thomas Duffy.
Look at that smile, Tim.
I love to see that. That's what it's all about.
Few things as euphoric as a long birdie putt, in my experience. Really any length birdie putt, actually.
Fun fact about Thomas Duffy here that he shared with us. He played wheelchair basketball for the University of Illinois for 6 years. Wow. So a multi-sport athlete is Thomas Duffy.
That's really cool. I think if we get a chance to talk to someone that plays different adaptive sports, I'd love to ask them, I wonder, kind of what's their favorite part about adaptive golf? Because obviously, an adaptive athlete, you have different options. Like you said, basketball. I know there's other sports you can play. I wonder what draws them to golf. And I'm sure everyone has their own story, but I'd just be curious to know like their favorite aspect, because golf is obviously a lot different than other sports in general.
Definitely.
All right, so Dennis there. Looks like he's making a K-turn on the green.
Yep.
Little work left. Going to finish this up. Make his way to 17 at par 5. Hopefully get one back.
We were fortunate enough to have Mr. Walters out at Midwest Golf House a few years ago for the 75th anniversary of our foundation, the CDGA Foundation. He also performed the trick shot show there as well. So appreciative of his time and attendance in some of our, anniversary celebrations here.
Yeah, and for the people that don't know Tim, can we find any of those adaptive or his trick shots anywhere online?
I'm sure he's got stuff online. As we talked about social media. Again, another putt and a great fist bump to end there on 18. And again, a fist bump from looks like either another competitor or a caddy in the group. Again, just love seeing this. Obviously, many of us are golfers and are accustomed to taking the hat off and shaking hands with your grouping there. But always nice to see that after a long 2 rounds here this weekend. You go back to the tee on 18. Competitor wearing a headband. I'm sure that came in use yesterday during the warm conditions, but quite a stylish look. I don't know if I can pull the headband look off here, Mike.
I'm in the same boat as you, Tim. Yeah, headband or visor would not do me justice. I agree.
I heard you and Dan earlier discussing some rock music as your singing voice.
Not as good as my broadcasting voice. I'll tell you that.
My singing voice it's funny. It's only good in my car. The acoustics in my car
Yep.
are probably the best for that, but
Slightly improved in the shower.
sure.
Probably, yeah.
Sure.
But all right, here we are back on 18 fairway. In the Shamrocks again, it looks like.
Yeah, the Rupp is, we interviewed and talked with Rayanne Jackson, the low round yesterday, and she discussed how the Midwest and golf in the Midwest, the rough is a bit different than her native Florida. So, again, the rough is still rough out here, regardless of the competition and the adaptive nature of this. So,
Yeah, like you mentioned, people traveling in from out of town. I like I said, I grew up playing golf in the Northeast, and so I played on bent grass my whole life,
Sure.
and even in the Midwest, in Illinois, Chicago, wherever, all bent grass. And then going to Bermuda, I had a little bit of trouble, and I really thought like, wow, this is so much harder playing Bermuda. But then when I went to college and I got so accustomed to Bermuda, I'm like, wow, this is way easier than bent. And I went back to bent, and I was like, this is way harder than adjusting from bent to Bermuda. So I'm sure a lot of the players, from different areas of the country that have Bermuda or rye, are definitely adjusting to that bent rough. It's the shots out of the fairway with the irons and the shots around the green where the ball is sitting down. It is unlike any other shot for sure.
Any shot on grass for me is a difficult shot. We like to joke that that's why we stay on this side of the camera. So.
All right, and now here we're going to take a look at an interview with Rayanne Jackson. Please enjoy.
Holes in my round, I played just pretty solid golf. A couple birdies in there, one bogey. Got to the 15th, had an unfortunate double. So, luckily I'd played pretty solid up until that point. Was hitting the ball well, was putting well. So a bit disappointed after the double, but I feel like I really bounced back for the last 4 holes of the round, making a birdie and then having a couple pars in there to finish even. I was really excited that Chicago was hosting an adaptive event because I love being up in Illinois. Don't know if I'm the biggest fan of Midwest golf. The rough up here can be pretty tough, but I feel like I handled it well out here, and it's a great track, so I enjoyed it. Yeah. I think being from Florida is an advantage because honestly, it was hot out here, but nothing out of the ordinary. I mean, it's about this hot, this humid every day back home for the last couple months. So, we had a pretty nice day yesterday despite the rain, a little cooler weather.
Okay. All right, now we take you back out to hole 18. Following Marty Neal's group, we're going to be hearing from Marty here shortly after he concludes the round. We hope you enjoyed that word with Marcus Pierce, and we're excited to talk to Marty about his experience here at the Adaptive Open.
Again, Marty, another local competitor in this field. His hometown is Libertyville, just north and west of the city proper here in Chicago. So. Marty awaits his competitor's shot. It's interesting to hear his dream golf foursome here, Mike. We've got Bill Murray, a Chicago staple in the comedy scene, Mr. Adam Sandler, a famous actor, and then, of course, John Daly. And he adds here that would be a hoot, and I would tend to agree.
Yeah, it looks like Marty shared with us that he He played before his accident at 15 years of age. Looks like he lost his right hand in a tragic accident. And he had a little par 3 course by his home and then picked the game up again after college. So very neat.
He adds that he's both a patient and a research participant at the Shirley Ryan Ability Lab here in Chicago, and has been a patient model for the Northwestern University Master's Program in Prosthetics and Orthotics. As you can see here, Marty does not have a right hand. It was amputated after an industrial accident involving a meat grinder. So again, just some of these stories that you hear from the competitors this week really put things into perspective. A lot of us with both hands may take some things for granted on a daily basis. So Marty's lived without a right hand here since January of 1979. So
yeah, I believe since he was 15 years old. So yeah, it also looks like Marty mentioned that his favorite golf memory, a golf trip to Ireland in 2017 with 11 of his closest friends playing 7 different courses, the best of which was Old Head Golf Links. And it sounds like he had a spectacular and just wonderful experience on the golf course and on the trip. So
I've been to Ireland. I've not played any golf in Ireland. I'm not sure if you've been fortunate enough to travel over there at all, Mike.
Have not, no. Would like to soon, but have not played any golf overseas yet.
A lot of the CDGA member trips that we organize are to Ireland through a company called Sullivan Golf. So a lot of members have done that here in the Chicago district. But
well, that's a pretty cool opportunity that you guys offer that and you put that together.
Yeah.
That's very unique.
Do a lot of international travel as well as domestic travel to a lot of resorts and different courses throughout the United States. So appreciative of the efforts of our corporate partner team to put that all together.
All right, still making our way up here.
So again, as Dan alluded to earlier, the water here on the left side of 18 occasionally does come into play here, Mike. So it looks like Marty skirted it on this par 4, but playing his third shot.
Yep, and the superintendent did not do them any favors in the rough today.
Correct.
Contact looked clean there, right next to the pin.
Yeah.
Wow, and we've
Can't
seen
ask for much more there.
Wow, no, and we've seen multiple putts from that side of the pin hold today, so wouldn't surprise me to see another.
We've got one of our camera guys out there walking with the group, so you see him just walking out of that shot. Very appreciative of the whole crew here. Again, it takes a team to put all of this together, and we at the CDGA are very thankful and appreciative of the work CGN and College Golf Network has done to facilitate this first ever live stream, again, an inaugural Chicago Adaptive Open, and we are appreciative of the partnership so far.
Definitely, yeah, I'm glad to hear that, and I know you guys have been organizing this for a while, and we've been talking to you guys and organizing it on our end for a while now too, a few months at least. So it's so great to finally see it come to fruition. And just, from an introduction back, in the late winter, early spring to now, it's funny. It feels like, June's forever away, right? Like they'll never get here, but somehow always finds a way. So I'm just glad to see it all come to fruition, and we're happy to be a part of it as well.
Looks like another putt will be upcoming from the left side, again, right side of your screen, but the left portion of that green here. So we've seen a couple hold, and hopefully see a few more here.
Yep, and like I said, would not surprise me if Marty holds that one from that side of the pin, because we've seen a lot of guys knock it down. So All right, this one's coming up the hill, Tim. And we've seen this one short a lot today because that pin
front left, and as we mentioned earlier, slopes from back to front. So
yeah,
always tough to judge the speed. And coming up the hill, he'll get another look for this upcoming putt.
Yep, and Dan mentioned it's deceiving on the broadcast here on TV. It's hard to really see how much that slopes back to front. So
correct. It looks like our guy Marty here is going to be finishing up, hit this putt for par.
This would be a world-class up and down, Tim.
Looking forward to talking with Marty after he finishes up here.
Definitely. Can't wait to hear about his perspective.
There it is.
There's a magnet over there.
Great par, and he waves to the onlookers there, and a fist bump from a fellow competitor.
The caddy.
Yep.
Fantastic. See if we can see another one.
And another one we see.
Wow. We've seen
Can
a lot
we
of
make it a trifecta? Can we make it a trifecta here?
I hope so. We've seen a lot of putts hold today, Tim. A lot of these guys so far that are missing maybe a hand or an arm, they putt better than I do with two.
Correct. Correct. Oh, and the trifecta we get, again, great putts from all three competitors in this group as they go to shake hands and walk off finally as they finish the second and final round of the inaugural Chicago Adaptive Open.
Yep, straight to the Cog Dogs now.
Definitely. I might have to join them here in a little bit to grab my own. I've already had one yesterday and might entertain another one today.
Shoot, that's probably what Dan's doing right about now.
The question is, how do you take your dog, Mike?
Oh, well, let's see. I am from New York, but I prefer ketchup, mustard, relish, and onions.
Okay. I'm with you except for the relish.
Okay.
I'm not going to do any relish. But...
Yeah. I like a lot on it. I get it pretty fully loaded.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a religion here in Chicago is the hot dog. So
yeah, definitely mustard. That's a non-negotiable though.
Correct.
If I had to pick ketchup or mustard, I'd have to pick mustard.
Okay. So again, waiting for Marty to join us here for a quick interview.
Yep, and you can see that a little better, that camera angle where it's positioned, and just how good of a job Phil's doing with that camera up there.
Yep.
Someone make sure we get him some water. We don't need him falling off that thing.
Maybe a hat or some sunscreen at some point.
I was just told he has a chair, so I take that back.
He has a chair, and it looks like the group's taking a photo in front of. We've got the platform in which Phil here is manning the camera on has some nice Chicago Adaptive Open graphics and stuff around it. So
yeah, I saw that. It's wonderful and
a great piece for these competitors. Again, you see a lot of these people taking pictures, following them around. It's nice to see that. People commemorating the event in their own way. So,
yep. And I'm just poking fun. Phil is my little brother, so I'm allowed to do that.
Again, cool to see this group photo here, and I'm sure that'll be shared across the community and posted elsewhere. And we appreciate everyone posting it and sharing it and things of that nature across social media. So.
Yeah, you don't see that at every golf tournament. You really don't. It's I've
the competitive nature's flow, and I think a lot of people are just consumed with what went on the round versus taking the time to enjoy.
Yeah, definitely.
And this hour again is brought to you by Zero Friction. We'll be back with an interview with Marty Neal.
So today,
Zero Friction, the first of its kind personal caddy. Walk in comfort and style with Stride's remote and follow me technology. The Stride handles almost any terrain, and its 54-hole range will last all day. The lightweight design and removable front wheels makes it simple to handle. Plus, it easily fits golf carts. Order yours and save. Visit zerofriction.com/stride. or scan the QR code to order yours today. Stride, your personal caddy.
Hey, Marty, thanks for joining us. Good, sir. How are you doing?
Hi, Mike. How are you?
That's awesome. Well, it was a
Doing
pleasure to
great
watch you
now,
hold that
thanks.
putt on the last, sir. Tell me a little bit about that one. It looked downhill, sliding. Never a doubt?
Yeah, it was downhill sliding, and my caddy, who's my older brother Larry, said he was thinking a cup out, and I agreed, and I knew it was downhill, and thankfully
That's awesome.
it was
Yep,
right on
it looked
target.
right on target the whole way from the TV inside here. But tell me a little bit about your experience here at Cog Hill and the Chicago Adaptive Open. How does it compare to some of the other adaptive events you've played in your career?
I have not played in one of these adaptive events before. That's one of the reasons I have to say I was so excited about this event, is that I've been a member of the CDGA for years, and 6-8 months ago when I saw the advertisement in their Chicago Golfer magazine for this event coming up, I was pretty excited about it. I'm a patient research subject down at the Shirley Ryan Ability Lab. I have not worked with them on any adaptive golf. I've done a lot of research with them, but after seeing the adaptive golf program that they just started and then seeing what the CDGA is doing here, and I signed up right away, and thankfully there were enough participants to make the tournament go. And if this is the way all the adaptive events are run, then I
That's
can't
awesome.
wait to
That's great to
participate
hear. And
more.
well, I guess it's safe to say that this won't be your first one, your last one at least, and we hope to see you back here next year. Thank you. You have a good rest of your
thank you
day,
very
and you
much.
enjoy your lunch, sir.
Thank you.
It was great to hear from Marty Neal, and like we heard, Tim, it sounds like this is his first adaptive event, actually, but sounds like it's safe to say it won't be his last. So it's great to hear, and we look forward to having him back hopefully next year. We're going to take a quick break, and just want to let you know that while in town for the inaugural Chicago Adaptive Open, two-time U.S. Open winner and USGA board member Andy North visited with CDGA TV and Casey to discuss the historic event, his experience with the USGA, his latest business venture, and his recollections from junior golf. Enjoy.
TV is two-time U.S. Open champion Andy North in town for the inaugural Chicago Adaptive Open. Andy, thank you for taking the time to come to the event and then sit down with us here.
This is a pleasure. It's nice to be back in the Chicago area again, and Adaptive Open is fantastic. The CDGA, what they're doing with those guys, so it's fantastic.
Building off that, why was it important for you to come to this event?
Well, I think, first of all, to go back a little bit, I'm a new member of the USGA Executive Committee, and the Adaptive Open was really a huge event for us last year, and really it was so well received, and the USGA people that were there said it was their favorite event of the year. So when we found out the CDGA was doing one here, it made sense, and I think it's fantastic to give these great athletes their stage, and it's really cool to see how well they can do it.
Cog Hill, the site of the inaugural event. I know in speaking with you earlier, you said you have some familiarity with the Jemsek family and the course and everything along those lines. So what makes that particular venue suited to host this event?
Well, I think, first of all, what the Jemsek family have done for golf in the Chicago area is amazing. Their reputation as operators of public facilities is absolutely the best. And, they've got so much history in the Chicago area in golf. It's you can't talk about golf here without Joe Jemsek's name coming up, and now the rest of the family is really deeply involved. So it's a great facility. What they've been able to accomplish here, upgrading the facility year after year, and to me, the adaptive event here probably makes more sense than any place else. It's all about Chicago golf here, and what they've been able to do. So it's great.
We'll talk about your amateur career in a second, but what memories do you have about your professional career as it relates to golf in the Chicago area?
Well, first of all, playing all the Western Opens for years was fantastic. We've had a couple of U.S. Opens in town over that time. I never could figure out this place. It was too hard for me. I couldn't drive the ball in the fairway enough times, but I struggled around here. I don't know what my actual record was, but I never had a chance to win the Western here. Came closer at Butler and some of the other places, but it was an event I always wanted to play well in and didn't get it done. That's always a little disappointing. After having good success of the Western Junior and the Western Amateur, you'd like to kind of gone for a giant three-peat if you could, but it didn't work out that way.
You mentioned your recent appointment to the USGA board. Why was that something that you wanted to pursue?
Well, I think, the history that you've had in the golf business over the last 50, 60 years. The USGA, the Western, they were my two favorite events that meant the most, and to be more now involved with the USGA on an executive committee standpoint has been really fun, and hopefully I can lend a little bit of expertise and knowledge to that group, and so far so good. They haven't kicked me out, so I've been to a couple of meetings and I'm still there, so I think that's a positive.
That's good. As an allied golf association of the USGA, the CDGA is obviously very intertwined with the USGA and carrying out a lot of the initiatives at the local level here in the Chicago district. From what you've learned so far, how important is that kind of relationship to the overall golf landscape?
I didn't really realize how connected they were and how important. The USGA can come up with a lot of great ideas, but you've got to get it done at the local level, and I think that's the relationship is, in the last 4 or 5 years, is different than it used to be. I think under the leadership we have now, we understand how important the local organizations are, from running tournaments, setting up qualifiers, to handicap system, all the things that get done are so important for us at the major level that it's nice to have great relationships locally.
Mm-hmm. Shifting gears, I know there's a project that you're really excited about with your Northway Technology Group. If you can just tell us a little bit about that and what you've got going on.
Well, basically, it's technology, which I'm scared to death of. I'm still the old guy that's kicking the kids off of the front yard, that kind of deal. But we think it's a golf app. There's a lot of them out there. We think it's going to change how the apps are looked at. It's voice activated using my voice. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully it can help players enjoy the game more, get people to improve their games with this app, and have more fun playing golf. And that's the bottom line, is that you want to have people have a great time out here playing.
And talking with you and your team, I know you guys have kind of some guiding principles that you're using to develop this. Can you just kind of delve into those and what you really want kind of the end product to be and what you want the user to experience?
I think the bottom line is that so often you create technology just for technology's sake. We want this to actually improve the experience. You want to have people have more fun, enjoy the game, get better, and if all that works out, it's going to be a win-win for everybody at the end.
And then not only, I know, do you envision this, being used by golfers everywhere, but then maybe specifically adaptive golfers as well, in that, it has the voice function.
Well, think about, there's a ton of really good players that are blind that are playing the game, and to be able to have something that help them yardage-wise and some things that you can't see. I think that the voice activated is a big deal for them. But again, what they're doing is amazing. You watch these athletes playing the adaptive open, the fact that these are unbelievable athletes, and what they're doing is incredible. To watch, stand on the range and watch players, one-handed players, hit it exceptionally well. Players on one leg hit it exceptionally well, and all the other things that people have had to overcome to become players. And golf's a wonderful game to do that. They can do it forever, and it doesn't matter if you can hit it 200 yards or 300 yards or 100 yards. To be able to just get out there and enjoy it and have some fun, it's really important.
Absolutely. So earlier we alluded to your amateur career. You grew up in Madison, Wisconsin, but there was a summer where you participated in some events here locally in the Chicago area, and you actually won a CDGA junior event, the CDGA match play. What do you remember from that? That
was a long time ago, 1967. It was a long time ago. I was lucky enough that the gentleman that started me in golf in Madison got the head pro job at Barrington Hills, which is a wonderful facility on the west side of town. And I spent a lot of time down here. So, he was able to get me. I don't know if I joined the CDGA as a junior member then. I don't actually remember that, but I played in a few events over a few years and was lucky enough to win the match play at Crystal Lake, beat a lot of really good players. And, the quality of golf in Chicago back then, it was amazing how many unbelievable players. Joel Hirsch was just a little bit older than I was. That's the guy that kind of everybody looked up to, that was the godfather of great golf in town, and he's still around supporting a lot of great events.
Yep. And as we get ready to unveil the new Hansberger collection we have at Midwest Golf House, I understand that you're donating a club to us, from that era of your golf career.
Well, this is a little bit beat up. This is a sand wedge that I used back in that period of time. I dug around the basement and went through some boxes and stuff and found this. I thought that would be only fitting to donate a club that actually won a golf tournament here in the Chicago district, even though it was almost 50 years ago.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate the donation, Andy. Appreciate your support, and we're excited to have you in town this weekend.
Yeah, this doesn't look very new, pretty dynamic, but it still works.
You could probably still get up and down from anywhere.
I think we could get it out of a bunker if we had to. Thanks.
Yep.
A story about a father sharing a game that he loves or a mom that she loves, and sharing that with somebody, in this case their child with a disability, not knowing if they're able to do that, and then seeing the joy that they're able to experience through that shared experience it's a gift to be a witness to that. I'm Mike Bruni.
I'm Jeff Frimsnyder.
I'm Nicole Jure.
I'm Jason Wingate.
I'm Garrick Parker.
I'm Tom Billiter.
I'm Casey Richards.
I'm Casey Mackaitis.
I'm Dan Hodgkin.
I'm Tracy Raoul.
I'm Ron Cassidy.
I'm Steve Rajewski.
I'm Bill Frazier.
I'm Brady Rule.
We are better through golf.
All right, we hope you enjoyed that interview with Andy North and Casey Richards. We are back here live at the inaugural Chicago Adaptive Open, and we're going to be hearing from Dennis Richards here in a few moments.
Dennis Walters.
Dennis Walters, excuse me. Thank you. Tim, how much do you know about Dennis? Tell me a
Well,
little
like
bit.
I said, Dennis has been very kind to the CDGA in the Chicago district. Obviously, a corporate partner of ours is Jersey Mike's, and Jersey Mike's sponsors Dennis's play as well. He's done a couple of trick shot shows for us across the street at Midwest Golf House, and has been very gracious with his time. But Dennis was given the Bobby Jones Award in 2018 by the USGA, so a great honor for him. And he's in the World Golf Hall of Fame as an inductee in 2019. Dennis was injured in a golf cart accident and became paralyzed in 1974. So he's been a staple and an icon in the adaptive golf community here and for a while. So as we see him finish out, we look forward to him joining the broadcast to answer a couple questions.
Definitely, yeah. I'm excited to talk to him here in a few minutes.
To get more info on the pup that's on the card here as well.
Yes.
Looks like just to tap in here to finish off the round for Dennis. Looks like a nice applause from the crowd here as both of these seated players, Thomas Duffy and Dennis Walters, look to shake hands and finish out their rounds. Must be a nice round playing with a World Golf Hall of Fame inductee here for Thomas Duffy. So I'm sure appreciative of the opportunity. We look forward to speaking with Dennis here shortly as he comes off the green. And again, these trick shot shows, when I tell you, Mike, are awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of different stuff going on.
Yes, I've heard that they're quite spectacular. And
Correct.
The one that he put on Friday night, was it?
Yep. In the rain, I will say. Again, rain or shine, he's ready for it. So.
And here's our sponsor, Jersey Mike's, who also sponsors Dennis Walters.
They slice your sub right in front of you. All that meat and cheese just for me. Watching that takes me to my happy place. Oh, wait. Jersey Mike's is my happy place. Kelly, did I place an order here in my happy place?
Not yet, Danny.
Then I'm going back to reality.
Number 7 for Danny.
Oh, thanks, reality, Kelly. Sliced right in front of you. It's a Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
All right, we'll be hearing from Dennis Walters here in a few minutes. But before that, the inaugural Chicago Adaptive Open would not have been possible without the partnership between the CDGA and the United States Adaptive Golf Alliance, a nonprofit organization focused on bringing inclusion to individuals with disabilities to the game of golf. Here's a look at some of the impactful work done by the organization.
The United States Adaptive Golf Alliance, a 501c3 nonprofit, believes in golf's power to transform lives. Our mission is to advance human potential and promote inclusion through the game of golf. Our programs focus on 3 primary pillars. The first is teach. we host adaptive golf training for organizations nationwide to fill community programs with trained adaptive golf coaches. We focus on sharing our knowledge of inclusive ways to teach golf to individuals with disabilities. The second is play. We host adaptive golf clinics, offering a supportive environment where adaptive athletes can connect and grow at no cost for participants. Our goal is to support individuals as they progress from rehabilitative movement to competitive golf. The third is compete. We create opportunities for adaptive golfers to compete on a level playing field, utilizing our USAGA standards, with more than 35 tournaments included in our men's and women's rankings. Since our founding in 2014, the U.S. Adaptive Golf Alliance has grown into a coalition of almost 50 member organizations, serving more than 40,000 individuals annually. Our participants experience measurable physical, mental, and emotional improvements, and our evidence-based methods ensure that everyone, regardless of ability, can experience the full benefits of golf. Join us in making a difference. Visit usaga.org to learn more and get involved with adaptive golf.
I can hear them in the background. I can't understand what they're, I don't think they're talking to me.
Hi, Dennis. How are you? Good, sir. Mr. Walters, I hear you're quite the icon and legend of the adaptive community. Is that fair to say?
Well, I think as far as the seated division goes, I believe I'm the one that started it. So it gives me great pleasure to see all these other folks out here playing golf in this tournament and wherever I go. Every time I see somebody that's in a one of these devices, it makes
That's
me
awesome.
happy.
Tell me a little bit about your pup there you got in your lap. Do they always come with you on the golf course?
Yes, I'll now interview Gus. This is Gussie, and he went along and watched me putt horribly today. I hit the ball good. See, he doesn't even want to talk about it. It was so bad. But yeah, this is the opening act in our show, and I've had 5 dogs, all rescue dogs, and I like to get them so they look like Benji, the movie dog. I've had 5 of these guys, and I've trained them all to be service dogs. So they help me on the golf course, but they help
That's awesome.
me in real life as
You're
well.
quite the animal lover. How was your experience at Cog Hill this year, and how would you say it compares to some of the other adaptive events you've played in your career?
I loved being here at Cog Hill. I think this is a fabulous place. It's an institution here in Chicago, and the golf courses are terrific. I think they picked a good course for us to play. Number 3, I thought it was fair, challenging, and I think the Chicago District Golf Association is doing a wonderful job. I think that they're in the forefront there, right up there with the USGA as far as playing golf, getting others with disabilities to play golf. And it really does warm your heart that they're interested in this. and they're leading the way. And I salute them wholeheartedly. Every person I've met in the Chicago District Golf Association has been a terrific person and with the most interested feelings about promoting this adaptive golf and golf for everyone. And I'm happy they're including us in their promotion
Definitely,
of the game.
yeah. I know the CDGA appreciates that too, and I would agree. Everyone's been extremely wonderful to meet with and talk with. But I'm glad you enjoyed the event, and we hope to see you back here next year. And thank you for your time. Have a great rest of your day, Mr. Walters.
Yes, sir. You too, and all the best. There's no putting in my show, which is why I probably putt so bad. But I did enjoy playing in this tournament, and I met some really nice folks, and I'm very grateful
That's amazing
that
to hear.
I had the opportunity.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Well, it certainly was my pleasure to speak with Tim Merrick, the Senior Communications Director from the CDGA, and we hope that you enjoyed our conversation as well. I'd now like to welcome back Dan Roan to the booth. Dan, good to have you back. How was
Hey,
your
good to be
lunch break?
back. Lunch break was great. Had a delicious cog dog. I know everybody in the room here is jealous and ready to get back to work here on number 16. And for people who may just be tuning in, the Chicago Adaptive Open has partnered with Jersey Mike's in creating a $10,000 Split the Pot Challenge. On 16 here, if anybody makes a hole in one, they take home $5,000, and another $5,000 will be donated in their name to the CDGA Foundation, helping to support their program. So a lot on the line on this par 3, and as we've said all afternoon, the pin placement here is conducive to the chance of somebody knocking one in.
Yep, and that looks like a hybrid off the tee, and that's found the putting surface.
Yeah, that's a
Dan.
good shot right there. Very good.
All right, this is Ryan Matthews now. Excuse me, this is Jason Hasty down on the tee. Correction. Apologies.
Good swing. Okay, a little short-sided there. Tough up and down from right of this pin.
Definitely short side. It's not where you want to be, and it doesn't look like the lie is too bad, actually. Sitting up, you can see a lot of the ball. It's always a good sign.
It's a little short. Is this Jonathan Snyder, who should have an advantage here? He's playing on his home course. Cog Hill is his home, a Chicago area native. He's made 4 aces in his career, and he is very involved, the president of the United States Adaptive Golf Alliance, and a competitor as well. So he's out there doing his stuff today on number 16, and we hope to talk to Jonathan a little bit later on after he makes the turn and finishes up there at 18.
Yep, and for those of you just joining us, we're just tuning in here back on 16. Jonathan Snyder is joined along with Ryan Matthews and Jason Hasty. And they are coming up the 16th hole as we speak.
Only a couple of more groups to come through, so we are winding to a close here.
Yeah, then 2 more groups to come through 16, so a few more chances at a hole-in-one. Never know. All right, looks like someone's ball found the water there. They're just sorting out with the rules officials. They're helping them out.
That may have been Jonathan's ball. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we jumped back in after the interview a little late. A couple gentlemen had already teed off, so. All right, not a lot of green to work with here. You're going to have to carry the rough, but ball is sitting up. Plays a pretty stock pitch shot there, and not too bad, but that ridge is just not going to allow that to get very close.
No, if you get a little bit past this pin and a little bit to the right of it, not easy.
It looks like they're going to take a look at the green here before he hits his chip shot. Maybe putting from off the green, actually. Tim, what are your thoughts on the pin being pulled in recent years, or pin being allowed to stay in rather recently?
It's probably a good thing, especially on some of the longer putts. I think some of the players like to have that as a visual. But, for me, it's I would rather have the pin out, especially on shorter putts. I think it's, to me, it seems like you have a bigger target.
Yeah.
And I've seen a few bounce off the pin and bounce out, too. So, in fact, I missed a hole in one not the other day, but a couple of weeks ago, same thing. Banged one right off the middle of the pin and didn't miss out.
That's one thing I've noticed from a lot of these adaptive players. It seems like everyone pulls the pin, and we've seen them hole some from a decent distance as well.
So we continue to show you the players who are competing on the bottom of your screen. The leaderboard right now looks like this. Jarrett Foltz is the overall leader. He'll be on his way to 16 here in a group or two. He's +3. And then there are a couple of other ones that are still in the mix. As we mentioned, Ryan Jackson, who was the first round leader at even par, is 5 over today, so she's 2 shots off the pace. 3 other players are +7 for the tournament. So our leader is +3. We have a +5, and 3 others, a couple of more strokes back at 7.
Definitely, it's going to come down to these last few holes, and 16 could have a say in it. Yep, and it looks like Jarrett will actually be in the next group coming through 16, so we'll see him shortly.
Well, I know Ryan yesterday had a problem, may have been on this hole, 16, where she had a bit of a hiccup, but then knocked it on the green in 2 on the very next hole, which is a par 5, and had a nice 2-putt birdie to get herself back to even par. So she should be playing 17 right about now. So we'll get those scores updated as soon as we can and see where everybody stands. But, yeah, it's going to come down to the wire, so it appears.
Yeah, and for those of you watching that are curious, there are a couple different, victors, if you will. There's classification winners as well as an overall winner. So Jarrett and Ryan are currently battling it for that overall winner here today. That putt has plenty of pace, but just slides by.
Yeah, you're not gonna make it on that from that angle unless you play it a little bit outside the right edge for the putter there, and just missed it on the low side. We mentioned Jarrett Foltz in the lead at +3. He shot 77 yesterday. He is 2 under for the day as he makes his way towards 16. He's through 15 now, so he'll be coming up very shortly here at 16, and we'll get a chance to check out the leader.
Yeah, that is super impressive, Dan. It looks like I'm looking at his card right now. He played similar to yesterday, but he's keeping the double bogeys off the card today.
He's got a lot of birdies today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 birdies in his round, and as we said, 2 under par for the day and +3 for the event.
Yep, yeah, it looks like he made 5 yesterday as well, but today he's keeping those doubles off the card, and 2 under is an extremely impressive round, so I'm looking forward to watching him here soon.
All right, the stage is set for the Jarrett Foltz group.
Yep, and here is Jarrett himself starting us off here on 16 in the home stretch.
No big surprise. He has the tee, right, on a 5 birdie day.
Right, yep. It looks like Jarrett's no stranger, Dan, to being in contention. Looks like he recently won the Ohio State Adaptive Open in August of 2023. So he knows what it takes to win.
Little bit of an outside to in, little cut. It did not find the putting surface. He's a little bit short and right.
Yep, just going to be pitching from that fairway.
Not a terrible spot.
Below the pin, at least. Next to play, Kirk Holmberg.
Kirk's having a good tournament. 10 over par for the event.
Yeah, very respectable score out here today. Looks like Holmberg's also just going to avoid the putting surface, but not far.
Having a good day today, just +1 after an 81 opening round.
Great bounce back. Rounding out the group, Luke Carroll.
Luke also 10 over par for the tournament, 8 over today.
So it looks like this group all came up a little bit short.
Got a chip off coming up.
Together.
That we do. Please enjoy this beautiful drone footage of hole 16 at Cog Hill number 3. As you can see, Dan, that ridge that we've been talking about in the right middle part of that green. Just a really pretty par 3 and a great hole to have down the stretch.
I think the water level in the pond has gone up a little bit today with the addition of a few Titleists and some other ammo that have not found the grass on the other side of that cart path.
Yes, I was going to say, I think a lot of the players would agree.
This hour of our broadcast is being brought to you by Cog Hill Golf and Country Club. Our host for this event, the inaugural event, Cog Hill has done a great job in that regard. The players really enjoying not only the weather, but the golf course. Everybody had really good things to say about Cog Hill course number 3, and it's provided a setting for some great competition, great friendship, sportsmanship, and it's been a terrific weekend, and we can't thank Cog Hill enough for the generosity shown us by the Jemsek family in hosting this event. Terrific job by them.
All right, we're back at the action. And just to echo what you just said, Dan, we've had a couple players we've interviewed that have said the same thing. They said, they super appreciative of Cog Hill and as well as the CDGA, and can't thank them enough for bringing this event to light. Nice chip shot there.
Yeah, it looks like a potential par saver for one. Let's see how the other guys do here.
Yep, looks like the leader, Fultz, has a wedge in his hand, and he's walking back toward the rough.
Good speed.
Wow, look at that. All right, here's the leader, Fultz. This is a big up and down he needs here from off the green.
Who ran it by just a little bit. That will not be the easiest putt coming back. That one should move a little bit left to right. Right now, we're going to step aside with another message from the CDGA and then a return with more golf and a quick interview from Jake Olson, the only long snapper in the field today.
Handicap.
We have an array of playing opportunities for both the serious competitive golfer and those who are of different skill levels, genders, and ages through our social competition series. So we've got a lot of playing opportunities.
I think CDGA's investment in all aspects of the game have made us a closer community when we are reminded that this wonderful game builds community. And CDGA does that great.
All right, back in our studio here, we are joined off the 18th green there by Jake Olson from Huntington Beach, California, who had a pretty good tournament, I would say. Jake, how would you rate your scores today and yesterday?
Yeah, both days were pretty good by my count. Honestly, kind of one of those crazy things where I felt like I struck the ball better today, but probably shot a stroke or two worse. So, but by all standards, felt good about every club in the bag for the most part. It was just figuring out the course, and honestly, what screwed us up more than anything was the rain on the practice round on Friday, and then greens dried out on Saturday and Sunday, and they kind of acted a little differently. So it was just figuring those out. But a great tournament, great course, loved it.
Most people know, Jake, that you're sight impaired, so you must rely on your caddy even more than some of the other players do.
Yes, I rely on my dad a lot, and it is definitely a team effort. A lot of people say it's an easy scapegoat out there. I can blame him for anything that goes wrong, but it's both of us that require to be perfect, for everything to go well. And so, I don't blame him for anything that usually goes wrong. It's usually my swing and everything that I attribute any missed shots to. But he does a great job, and kudos.
That's great that you get to spend time with him like that. That's an awesome thing. So you're a football guy. You were part of the team at Southern Cal, a long snapper. Got a chance to let one go in a game, if I'm not mistaken. That's fantastic in itself. How did you come about the game of golf then? Was that did you play golf before all the football stuff, or did you take it up afterward?
I did, and actually I attribute football to golf. I started golfing right after losing my eyesight, and I played beforehand, but, it was the first sport I probably picked up and said, hey, even though I've lost my eyesight, I still want to play. And so there was obviously a lot of growing pains, but eventually we kind of got down a system, and through muscle memory and everything, we were able to, hit some good shots and stitch some good shots together, and et cetera, et cetera. And eventually in high school, wondering how can I even play football, because it's another sport I love. Okay, I'm not going to be quarterback, I'm not going to be receiver. Well, what can I do? And someone said, well, have you heard of the long snapping position? I said, not really. He goes, well, it's the same same putt or same snap over and over again. Use muscle memory to do it. And so I said, well, I know how to do that because of golfing, so I'm going to go ahead and
Well,
do that.
that is a
for football
terrific
as well.
story. Hey, what does it mean to you to be able to compete in these events?
I mean, I think it means just as much to me as anyone else out here, and that is just we love this game. Golf's just one of the best games in the world. I think it teaches so much about just life and challenges you in so many ways that, you know, are attributable to other places in life. But I love this game, and to show people how much I love it, I'm willing to go and hit a golf ball without even being able to see it and do it at extreme level, I think is just a testament to how much I love this game and the gifts that God has given me.
That's terrific.
So
well,
that's what it means to
it's
me.
a thrill for us to have you this weekend. Congratulations on a good tournament, and we send it back out to the golf course now for more closing action here at the Chicago Adaptive Open.
All right, we're back here on 18, par 4.
That is Ryan Jackson. We didn't get to see her approach shot, so I'm not sure if that was for birdie or for par.
Nope.
As we said at last report, she was 5 over par. The women's overall champion, that part of it has been wrapped up. She'd like to get her hands on the overall trophy, but she's got a little bit of a hill to climb there with Jarrett Foltz hanging on to the lead at this moment. But congratulations to Ryan Jackson, the winner in the women's division in the Chicago Adaptive Open. And we hope to grab a word with Ryan here in just a second.
Yeah, but just a quick score update for you, Dan. It looks like Jarrett Foltz, while we were away in the interview, he did make a bogey on the 16th hole. Drops to one under on the round. So it could be close here.
Yeah,
that
would mean Ryan here has a putt that she really has to make. I'm going to go ahead and assume this putt is for par.
Yep, either way, needs to see this one go in to have a chance. All right, so Ryan cleans that up. Just going to shake her playing partner's hands here. It's the second or third pup we've seen on the green today, Dan.
Got to get that team photo there at 18, right?
Yeah, it's nice to see everyone, animals included, enjoying the event today. Yep, and that's what it's all about right there.
Yeah, we talked about competition and camaraderie, and there's a whole lot of that going on here at Cog Hill today.
Yep, and we'll be joined here by Ryan Jackson shortly. Dan, it'll be nice to hear from her and see how she finished up the round today.
How do you read that body language? a little disappointed.
I'm thinking
think
that one was for a bogey. I don't know.
she's pulled her hat down over her eyes, so I don't know that she's too thrilled with what's happening. But I don't know if she knows what's going on behind her either.
Fair enough. And either way, still a lot to be proud of. But before we talk to Ryan, we want to say thank you again to our sponsor, Jersey Mike's, and we'll be right back with an interview with Ryan Jackson.
They slice your sub right in front of you. All that meat and cheese just for me. Watching that takes me to my happy place. Oh, wait. Jersey Mike's is my happy place. Kelly, did I place an order here in my happy place?
Not yet, Danny.
Then I'm going back to reality.
Number 7 for Danny.
Oh, thanks, reality, Kelly. Sliced right in front of you. It's a Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
Welcome back to the Chicago Adaptive Open. We are joined now off the 18th green by Ryan Jackson, who just finished her round with, we don't know what you made there, Ryan, par or bogey? Atta girl. We were hoping that was what it is. The overall competition is getting pretty tight. Were you able to check a leaderboard out there at all and know where you stand?
Yeah, I did check it a few times. Knew I wasn't playing the greatest golf, but still put up a solid round. So still a few players out there, though.
You've got some great items in your backstory, one of which is that the only thing you do left-handed is play golf. How did that happen?
Honestly, not too sure. I do remember being very young, and both my sisters had all these clubs, and my dad kept giving me a putter, and I kept wanting to go to the left side. So finally he gave up, though.
So everybody in your family plays, and you told us that you were probably the worst golfer in the bunch, which is hard to believe.
Yeah. Yeah, both my older sisters could probably, without playing at all,
you're a native Floridian, and you live in Florida now, but you had that interlude in Charleston, Illinois. I have to ask you, how did you wind up at Eastern Illinois?
Well, when you study history in college and you're just the average collegiate golfer, there's very few programs in the United States for a master's in history with an average golf team. So really glad that ended up working out, thoh. I really enjoyed
I know
my time
that your disease kind of overtook you during the time you were in Charleston there. It would be hard to think you're a better player now than you were then, but is that the case by your scores? I think a lot of people might think that's the case.
Yeah, I would say so. I think a lot of it, too, is the distance, the difference in yardage that we're playing out here. Coming from college where we're playing anywhere between 5,900 and 6,100 yards, then to come out here and have a lot more wedges and short irons in my hand definitely makes me a little bit more accurate.
How did you enjoy the
greens.
golf course?
I really enjoyed it. Was not a fan of the rough today.
Well, it's not like Florida. Oh, I don't know if it's more difficult or easier, but it's not the same, that's for sure.
No, it's a lot more dense here, so had some trouble, but I feel like overall put up a good round. So
well, great. Well, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Congratulations on being the women's overall champion. We'll see what happens as these final groups come up. You're still alive to win the whole thing.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, good. Ryan Jackson awaiting the final golfers here coming off 17 and 18 to see exactly where it is she winds up on the leaderboard. She has won the women's championship. That we do know.
Yep, and that was nice to hear from Ryan. And Dan, I'm glad to hear that was a par on 18. But I think that just shows you how hard she is on herself and how good she really is.
It shows you how much she wanted that birdie is what it shows you, I think.
Yeah. This is the final group of the day on 16. So after this group concludes, we will be heading to 18 and watching the championship wrap up.
Well, sad to say, nobody made a hole-in-one today.
No, it is sad, but
I I would say as we look back at what we've seen there at 16, it seems to me that while we all thought that pin placement might be a good one for the chance of somebody to make one because the green kind of runs in that direction, I think we've seen a lot more balls run off to the right than we have run down from left to right on that hole. So maybe it wasn't quite the easy pin that we thought it might be.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it was a little bit harder to once you got on the green. It might have looked good from the tee, but we saw a lot of players on 18 making putts. They've definitely putted better on 18 and then on 16. So, yeah, I think you could be right there.
Yeah, if you'd ask me, I would say 18 is a harder green to putt than this one. But apparently that has not been the case. And there's another one that runs way by.
Yep, and you can really see there just how far away that hole is from the right edge of the green. It is not far at all. So that pin is definitely tucked on the right side there. Not a lot of space between the fringe and the hole.
He's going to have to put a little mustard on this one. Back up that hill. And oh, good effort. Just missed. I don't know how that didn't go in. Misses on the right, winds up on the left. Shows you how much slope is right there around that cup.
Yep, and this group finishing up was the group of Philip Kamak, Rick Oldak, and Evan Matthias.
Rick shot 73 yesterday. Not exactly sure where he is today. My leaderboard seems to have disappeared. There we go. Rick is +9 for the day, +10 for the event. The leader in G3 is Evan Matthias, who is +6 for the tournament. 3 over today, 3 over yesterday. So he's having a nice, consistent run here at Cog Hill number 3.
Yep, and now we're got you back out to 18T here, which will be the remaining coverage here. That's a nice low draw up the left side. See if it stays in the fairway. All right, so we'll see when we get up there.
Right side of the fairway is better on this hole.
Yep, it looks like we got 2 more groups after this, Dan. So we're nearing the end of our coverage here, but I know I've enjoyed my time with you as well as Tim and being here at Cog Hill, so I truly appreciate being a part of it.
Yeah, me too, Mike. Nice working with you and the whole crew here at college golf. It's really it's been an interesting afternoon to watch these athletes participate and perform the way they do. It's been a lot of fun to watch and eye-opening in many respects. Nice big loose swing right there. A lot of turn. I imagine that was down there relatively close to the green.
Yeah, very on plane as well.
We can't go much further without thanking the more than 50 volunteers who were at Cog Hill this weekend and helping in big ways to make this the success that it has been. I mean, you can't do that without the red shirt crew out there, and they've been terrific and really great of everyone to donate their time and their effort to come out and help get this tournament going. It's been a great day for them. I'm sure they're thrilled to death that they had the opportunity to come out and do this, but the tournament would not go off the way it has without their help, and we certainly appreciate it.
Yep, we're definitely grateful everyone that's chosen to spend this beautiful Sunday with us today. And to those of you at home watching, we appreciate you tuning in to College Golf Network as well as the CDGA's presentation of the Chicago Adaptive Open. Yep, so you can see we've got someone right, someone left.
It's 17 green in the background, the par 5. There might be a couple of groups left on that hole. In fact, I think there are. So one of those groups involves Jared Foltz, who was our leader, but who bogeyed 16 to fall back to +4. Just one shot ahead of Ryan Jackson, who's already in the clubhouse. So we'll see how this plays out over the last hole and a half.
Yeah, it is shaping up to be a great finish today. Couldn't ask for much better.
All right, second shot to 18 on the way. Look to be headed a little bit to the right. There's a greenside bunker over there. And I'm not sure if that ball wound up on the beach or not.
Looks like it's on the path, actually, Dan.
Oh, there it is.
Yep, I can see it was blending in with the cart path there. Pretty good. The ball was hiding.
Once again, good on you. I don't know how you saw. Now I can see it.
Yep, thank you for your patience, cameraman, and ours. Yep.
Well done.
So that'll be a drop, I imagine. But yeah, like you mentioned, Dan, Jarrett Foltz is in the group behind this group, so we should be seeing it come to a head here soon. This is the group of Jonathan Snyder, Ryan Matthews, and Jason Hasty making their way up the 18th green.
Yeah. Ooh, that's going to be a nasty chip down that hill. I would think the lie would be everything on that shot.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to control the landing spot there. Probably going to have to land that on the fringe if, yeah, the green's going to be too far there. Like you said, it slopes very hard back to front.
as Ryan was telling us, coming from Florida, she's not quite used to the density of the rough up here in the north. But that shot from behind the green will be a tester.
Yeah, Tim and I chatted about that earlier, the adjustment from Bermuda to Bent and all the players that are coming from all over, even, as far as the West Coast and the East Coast, South and North. So the Bermuda to Bent adjustment, I was telling Tim, is definitely, I think it's harder than going from Bent to Bermuda in my playing experiments, but tricky nonetheless.
See the flag waving at a pretty good clip. I think the wind has picked up a little bit over the last hour or so.
Yep, and it looks like I see a head cover, I see a driver, so that's how you know it's a cart path drop.
Cart path drop. Nearest point of relief, not closer to the hole. You're looking for a good place.
Yep.
Those drops are always so problematic, especially in this kind of rough. I mean, you never know what you're going to get, but that one looked like it settled down a little bit.
Yeah, in my experience, I think the knee-high drop lends to a little bit worse lie than the shoulder high. I'm not sure why. I think shoulder, I feel like I got better bounces, but
I kind of think you're right about that, and I'm not really sure why that is. I guess if you drop it from shoulder height, you get a bigger bounce, and it may land a little softer on the rebound.
Right. Yeah. When you drop it from your knee, it kind of just
It
sits
sits
down.
there. Yeah.
Doesn't bounce at all.
You put it down by your knee and just throw it down there a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yep. We cannot see that ball, so I would imagine that is probably what happened.
Oh, very nice. Hold down now.
Oh man, yeah. The wind, the green.
Yeah, that was downwind, downhill from the rough.
Mm-hmm.
Got some good altitude on it.
Yeah, it looked like solid contact.
Just couldn't get it to slow down once it got on the green. So at least the ball is on the upslope, and we hope he'll be able to pop it up there close and save a bogey.
Yeah, we have seen one sand save from here earlier this afternoon, so hopefully we can make it a few more.
I wonder if anybody hit it in that pond on 18. Did you see anybody go in there?
We didn't see anybody. Nope, doesn't mean it didn't happen. We could have been over on covering 16, but did not see any. We saw one that was close. Yeah, one that was close, but nothing in the water. But it does sneak up on you, that's for sure. Again, good contact there out of the bunker. Yeah, really nicely
Come on
done.
down. That's really good. A tester, but that's good.
Yep, and like we've said, we've seen a lot of putts hold from that spot, specifically this green as well. All right, Dan, so I think it's safe to say it's a two-horse race here at this point. Jarrett Foltz at 4 over, Ryan Jackson at 5. And then we got a couple 7 overs sprinkled in there and 8 over, but still some really, really solid golf here today and this weekend at Cog Hill.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And we're not positive if Jarrett is through 17. He's through 17, so he's got 18 to go, needs a par to win.
Yep, yeah, Jarrett, according to his scorecard, did make a par on 17, that 490-yard par 5. So he will have a 319-yard par 4 on 18 to finish up. And like you mentioned, a par will secure the win for him. Yep, and Foltz still has the tee. No surprise there. Jared shared with us that he likes to play golf with his dad and brothers, and he has lots of fun trash talking. So I wonder if we'll see any of that here.
Yeah, I think he's more concerned about getting one down the middle here. Right center maybe would be even better. But, yeah, par to win and on the tee. Got that little misdirection in his backswing. Don't know how pleased he's going to be with that.
Yeah, that's going to be up.
He got a good piece of it. He's not that far from the green no matter where he is.
Yeah, he also mentioned that he's just happy to be here and play. So that's always nice to see. All right, so after a slight delay with the cart path drop, the Snyder, Matthews, and Hasty group is finishing up here on 18 green. And your leader of the overall division will be making his way up to the fairway. And this is for the Sandy. Oh, just slides
boy.
by.
Boy, that took off to the left, didn't it?
Looks like it started, never really had a chance, unfortunately. Just a little too far left in that start line. But nonetheless, still a very impressive bunker shot.
Oh, boy.
Not the way you want to finish.
No, that was a good putt.
Let's see if he can knock down the comebacker. Oh, just a brutal lip out.
Well, that cup was no fun for anybody.
All right, and they're heading to scoring, finalize their scorecard here for the final day of the championship. And like you mentioned, Dan, lots of red shirts there.
Wasting no time back in the fairway, trying to make their way onto the green here at 18. We'll see where Jared Foltz wound up. Well, there you go.
All right, right rough.
Not thrilled with that shot. Came up well short. That had to be a brutal lie there. I can't imagine him from that close not getting it a little closer to the green, but that'll be an up and down to win.
Yeah. Yep, there are definitely some shamrocks and some clovers in that rough. So, like we said, the lie must have been troubling. So
He'll be hoping for a 4-leaf clover on this one.
oh, nice shot there.
Come on back.
Come down
Good
that
one.
hill. Checked up nicely. That was clean contact.
That's going to be speedy. All right, here's Jared Foltz, third shot at the par 4 18th, nursing a one-stroke lead. Up and down for the win.
Wow.
Pretty good leave right there below the hole, maybe about 8 feet or so, 8 to 10.
Yep, on the right side of the hole, though, coming right up at it.
The challenge from that spot will be to hit it hard enough to get it to the hole.
Yep, we've seen a lot of putts left short just because of how much that green slopes back to front.
All right, some drama on the final hole. This is what we were hoping for, right?
Can't ask for much more. There's a nice shot of Jarrett walking up to the green. That's pretty cool. Great work by the cameraman there. Excuse me, folks. Sorry about that.
I think he's going to have a bit of a wait here.
Yep, but Jared is no stranger to competing. You mentioned that he started playing competitively when he was in 6th grade. So cool to see that he's still enjoying the competitive nature of golf.
Get in there.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
yeah. What a great putt.
Read it perfectly. Great way to finish. Great way to end on 18, and an even better way to end the tournament.
Just crept in over the front. Beautiful pace, great read, good finish. All right, here's the one we came to see, right?
Yep, Foltz lining his putt up here for the win of the overall division.
Oh, boy, that was a good putt. Speed was just right, just not quite enough break. So, we have a tie for the overall lead.
The result is pending scorecards, but it looks like Jarrett Foltz is actually your overall champion. Final result will be coming up next. So have one more group left to play.
Another good putt there at 18. Jarrett Foltz gets the handshake. He's absolutely the men's champion. I think we're going to have to check the scores to see exactly who the overall winner is. It's between him and Ryan Jackson. You know, if I was counting right, I was pretty sure he made 5 on that hole. Short in 2, on in 3, and 2
I
putts,
thought I
right?
saw him pitch out, but my eyes could have been deceiving me. I've been in the booth for a few hours now, so. But he's giving the handshakes. Either way, the final result will be pending scoring anyway. So.
Well played in any event.
Yep, as it stands now. And to complete the championship, Evan Matias, Rick Oldock, and Philip Kamak. Final group. That's a nice shot there from the rough. Going to find the front portion of that green.
Very nice.
That angle you can see a little bit more just how much it comes back to front. All right, we're going to finish watching the golf, but we've received confirmation from the Senior Communications Director that Jarrett Foltz did indeed make a par. I think Dan and I must have been seeing a different screen, but in any event, congratulations to Jarrett Foltz and winning the men's overall and the overall championship, as well as Ryan Jackson and the women's overall and all the other classification winners. But we'll get you back out here to complete the end of the round. All right, we are finishing up the final group on the putting surface. It's a nice lag putt, but have a short distance, clean that up. All these players have done such a great job today, and I just can't reiterate enough how much of a pleasure it's been for College Golf Network to get to work with the CDGA and help produce the Chicago Adaptive Open. It's been a pleasure to be joined with the Chicago icon, although albeit he might not admit it, but working with Dan has been a true pleasure, and as well as everyone else at the CDGA. I'd also like to thank all of the crew. Cameramen, Philip, Andrew, Nick, Ryan, Liam, Hyatt, as well as media and photography, Allison and Ava, who've been here, along with Robert as well. So we're just finishing up the golf here, and then we will get you out to an interview with the overall champion, Jared Fultz.
All right, waiting patiently by the side of the 18th green, Jared Fultz, but I guess you don't mind waiting to hear the fact that you're the overall champion and the men's champion in the inaugural Chicago Adaptive Open. Congratulations, Jared.
Well, thank you. I honestly didn't think, you obviously think you always have a chance, but after yesterday I put myself in a tough spot. I had no idea what the leaderboard was at, so I just tried to go out there and play good golf, and fortunately...
Well, you did, and you told us that driving is your strong suit in golf. Was that your tee ball right there in front of the green?
Yeah. I had some adrenaline, I'll be honest. I had a good par save on 17 where I didn't really deserve it, to be honest. And I full side the driver and ripped it and felt good. One of the best drives I hit both days.
I would say so. That thing was downtown, and then it was pretty easy par from that point on. But you knew what you had to do, I'm assuming, or did you know? You didn't know, huh?
I had no idea. I had no idea what the score was at. At the start of the day, I felt like I kind of put myself out of it, so I just told myself, go out there, have fun, play good golf, and add it up at the end. And something I've been working on in my game, kind of taking the pressure out of it, taking it fun, having more fun. I always tell myself and my players, pressure is a privilege, and just go out and have fun. And I feel like
well, you really did. It sure paid off for you. What does it mean for you to play in these events against great competitors and people of, similar disabilities that still love the game of golf and are able to go out there and compete at the level that you do?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, it shows that golf is a game for everyone. That's something I've been saying since I started these events. Golf is a game for everyone. We'll find a place for you if you want it.
Today. Let's volunteer.
And for me personally, I was a college golfer, and I wasn't going to go pro. This was my chance to continue competing, which I love. It's stressful at times, and it gets you down, but I love it. That's why I do it, and I can't be more grateful for the opportunity to play in these events, to have a chance to compete. Yeah, it's a dream come true. All these guys are awesome. A lot of really good players.
Spoken like a true golfer, Jarrett. Thanks for your time, and congratulations again, the overall champion and the men's champion here at the Chicago Adaptive Open. Congratulations again.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to take another short break and come back with Robert Marchione, the Executive Director of the Chicago District Golf Association.
Glenn Stitt going, I never thought I'd have to tell the players that snow was either casual water or a loose impediment.
What's that? Oh, he won? He won?
Okay, well, let's go. Time to go home. God.
Welcome back to our broadcast of the inaugural Chicago Adaptive Open. Competition is wrapped up. We have our winners. There are a lot of winners on this golf course today. And one of them didn't pick up a club all day. He's the executive director of the Chicago District Golf Association, Robert Marchione. Robert, this is an initial venture for you guys. Now that the smoke is clearing and the dust is settling, how do you think it went this weekend?
I'm not sure it could have gone much better. I mean, the host site here with the Jemsek family and condition of the golf course was fantastic, and their staff. The number of volunteers that we had come out wearing all the red shirts, of course, our own directors, our staff. and especially the players, from all over the country coming in, and actually a picture-perfect day today. So I think for the inaugural event,
Yeah,
it went about as good as it could go.
competition, as it was good. A lot of camaraderie out there among the players, of course. That goes without saying. Now that you've been able to host an event like this, and I know the USAGA is moving into your building shortly, where do you go from here with regards to adaptive golf with the CDGA?
Well, we hope we can build on it. We go back 80 years from when our foundation was first founded in 1944, using golf as a therapeutic tool to work with veterans coming back from World War II who acquired disabilities. So in one sense, this is not new for us, but in another sense, it is because of a championship. So our hope is that we'll be able to build on this. We'll probably get together the next couple of days, put our notes all on paper, and talk to the Jemseks about, can we come back here next year and start looking at ways to make this bigger and better, with the hope that maybe in the not too distant future, the USGA will bring the National Adaptive Open here, which would be a great thing. And we think that this is a good starting point to show.
Couldn't agree more with what you just said. Again, we're going to let you go, but congratulations on a great weekend, and we wish you the best in the future in further endeavors with adaptive golf. I think it went about as well as it possibly could have.
Well, thank you, and we thank the College Golf Network for being here, and Dan for you sitting in and being on everything this afternoon. So we think it went well.
Thank you, Robert.
Robert
Marchioni, the Executive Director of the Chicago District Golf Association, and I think that's going to do it for us.
Yes, thank you, Dan. It's been a pleasure, truly, working with you and the CDGA, and we hope you all join us next time on the next College Golf Network broadcast, and we hope to be back here at Cog Hill next year.
All right, Mike, thank you very much, and thanks for watching, everybody. We hope to see you next time.